guess so.
And howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, a place that is free from all kinds of negative things in the real world. This is the fantasy world. This is Dungeons and Dragons. I am
Nothing
Jeff,
bad ever happens, and everyone is perfect, and no one is mean.
your dungeon master for this evening. And joining me is this guy Matt. We're gonna have Dan joining us a little bit, and then my friends Hannah, Alana, and Tina, who don't just try to distract me every time that we do the read-in.
Oh, Joey just realized we matched.
I know. It was funny because when I put this on, I was like, I think Alana has a shirt very similar to this. It'd be really funny if we were the same one. And I saw you walking down the stairs. I was like, wow, what are the odds? However, welcome to D&D. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon. A couple of announcements before we get started with D&D. First of all, last night we played Mosaic Team 5, Session 27, which had a very interesting cooking adventure. It involved 3 of the 5 players being NPCs, and it went wildly unpredictably, but very fun.
Pretty successful.
It was great, yeah. No, it went very well. You can check that out on our YouTube at Alberon RPG. That is going to replay at noon on Sunday, followed by this at 4 p.m. on Sunday as well. We have social media at Alberon RPG for Instagram, for Twitter. That is a place where you can see a lot of maps and things like that. We do use a lot of maps, but at the moment, all we have right now is an empty Pocky wrapper.
Oh, not a sponsor!
The camera's all laggy. I gotta check out that. I think it probably messed up the connection a little bit, but not a problem. When we do have maps up, because of things like lag, because of things like lack of zoom, it is a lot easier to see on Instagram. So at Alberon RPG, there are pictures, close-ups of things like hand-drawn maps, painted miniatures, things of that nature. And there's a lot of them because the party gets into combat a lot because they make poor choices. Speaking of which, there is going to be... oh, actually, no. That's 2 weeks from now. Never mind.
What's 2 weeks?
Don't worry about it. You will also notice our overlay is a little bit different. We have wider images, which means there's elbow room. Yeah, you guys can actually sit spreading. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, so luxurious.
When Dan eventually joins, but that will eventually facilitate us having a bonus spot available for guest players and things like that down the line a little bit. A couple of things that'll be pretty cool. The final thing that I have to announce is Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set that we use to inflict music upon people. This is called camp music. But it has a whole variety of different things. If, for instance, you wanted to play the first music that we're going to start with tonight, you can play things that are a little bit more somber. Entirely up to you. You can use this music either at birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, D&D games, things of that nature. I keep waiting for Dan to come down the stairs.
Yeah, I heard.
I know, I heard
The Oreo came back in.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
He's got boots now.
For all those things and more, Sirenscape, digital tool set. And with that, I'm going to get into our recap.
I look forward to the first hour being us deciding who gets which item.
And our original theme song by Arcane.
Yeah, let's see. I got the list right.
Fate Changers. Last we played, you raced to the aid of Glub, Ogle 3, Drea, and Mr. Gift. Ogle 3 perhaps more out of circumstance. But upon rushing down the stone pathway to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, you all confronted a massive, empowered Aranyace of Firna and her faithful Hellhound, both from the realm of Phlegathos, one of the levels of hell. They were there to reclaim the fallen soul of one Gunter, the dwarf that still mentally imprisoned within the blue grung form of Glub. Excuse me. Though Eleanor managed to stab Oakfeld and Brenna absorbed the lion's share of the Aranyace's fury, you prevailed, with Brenna using the axe jammed into the devil's eye sockets to torque the entire head away from the towering body, turning it into ash. You reunited with the Dungannon Antiquities Collective and discussed possibilities for the endangered club. Within the ashes, Shay, you found a glowing chain this glow, not mere magic, but the actual light of the moon. And using this, holding it near Oakfeld first, you were able to see the actual true tree form of Oakfeld beneath the skin. And you realized this chain had properties that allowed it to shift creatures back to their true form. And in recognizing this, and in recognizing that there were always going to be devils, at least for now, after Glub, you wrapped the chain around him and transformed him back into Gunter, who is unleashed once more into the world. To a clap of thunder.
For good or for ill.
Yeah, for real, I think almost entirely. So, with Gunter back on this plane and thunder rocking the halls, you went shopping and won an ally in Calessian for a price to be collected from Eleanor. He has some plans. He has some plans, let me tell you.
We're gonna bring it back. It's fine.
With that, you turned and left a shop, a twinkle in Calessian's eye, as he reminded Eleanor that he knows members of her family have more than enough to pay back these debts should they not return.
What do you care? You don't even like your family.
Where'd you get that idea?
I don't know. You're not hanging out with them. You're not talking to them.
You're not spending every waking minute with your family. You must hate them.
I mean, that's what Akka thinks.
Now, with many new items in tow, you depart, destined for the Dungannon Antiquities Collective once more, and presumably points beyond. And so, Fate Changers, as you make your way through the streets of Dungannon, it is about 11:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, the 11th of the melting. It is roughly 60 degrees. It is spring as the wind kind of blows by all of you. Let me just pull our music in here. So walking through the town, are you guys all just heading back to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective? I will learn how to talk tonight. Or is there anywhere else that you want to stop? Are there other places that you want to go to supply yourselves?
We wanted to get healing stuff, right?
Yes.
Healing stuff. And did we want anything else? We got like probably all the magical items that we could in Dungannon, besides a couple of the things. I would have
Literally,
the bells, but that's fine. That's fine. We don't need the bells. I was gonna give them to someone, but that's fine. So we get some magic health potions and the sorts.
What I will say is, Larry David, if you imagine that you have health potions back at the Dungannon Antiquities Collective.
Yeah.
Specifically Drea, or most specifically Ogle 3.
Ogle 3. That
Yeah.
mother. Yeah.
Just as an option.
Brenna says, like, well, maybe somebody else can do the talking.
No.
Not you. Eleanor has the cloak put back up and it's just stony silence, projecting an aura of
See, the
silence.
thing about Ogle 3,
An aura of debt.
he's kind of annoying.
Okay, but is it everyone who thinks that, or is it just you who thinks that? Because
A lot of people, he pesters. Specifically, he pesters me,
yeah,
but
seems like a fellow I'd like to meet.
yeah. Well,
Well, do you want to go to a store then and spend money on things that we can probably get for free?
look over at Eleanor.
Just a void, a black void.
We can go ask Ogle 3.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go ask Uncle 3.
Talk to Ogle 3.
All right,
Make your way.
back to
We
the.
have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I bet you do.
He literally brought you back from the dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
No. Deep down, we're bros.
What, the first time?
But it's like it's like
the first time.
Ogle 3.
Was it the first time? I think that was the third time. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
First time was Ogle 3, right?
Yeah, the first time I thought was Ogle 3. The
Second time was the Resurrection Stone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The third time is the projection into the future.
Yeah. Third time is TBD.
Uncle 3 is probably the one who kills you the next time.
So we're secret bros.
Secret
Very
bros.
secret
You
bros.
make your way through the streets, and without any issue, You come upon the Touffet Museum, and instead of climbing the steps up, you take the door down and then through the sort of damp corridors, and you can make your way into the entryway that you have just previously left, wherein you can find Mr. Gift and Drea, who are kind of reassembling furniture and cleaning things up, as it was trashed in this combat and still everywhere. There's just ash. And when you open the door, right in the threshold, it's become almost like a cakey mud around the area as it sort of dampens.
The entire time that we are here, I'm doing what I can to discreetly keep Drea from seeing the axe.
Oh, right.
I am just putting that out there once more, that trying to prevent that from being a thing that happens.
Okay.
I think at this point, since Brenna now understands Akka's perception of what Drea might do, Brenna is also kind of actively, I mean, she still can't put it down, I'm assuming.
No.
Although perhaps on the way back she tried to negotiate with Gracial Dunith to be like, let me just hide you.
So what exactly is Brenna saying to Gracial Dunith?
Okay, you heard Akka. This Drea lady might try to separate us. Can I please just put you in the bag of holding just for a little bit, just until we're clear?
God, this is the problem with Starfinder. It's not a diplomacy check. It's a persuasion check. There you go.
Historically not great for me for trying to persuade the dragon. 12.
There is no reason for us to hide Brenna. We are strong, Brenna.
Said she's gonna tear my arms off.
You will tear her arms off.
Okay.
Brenna.
All right. Thanks anyway, bud. All right, so having failed at that,
Yeah.
Brenna's gonna, she's gonna try to play it cool, but, with Akka's help, just try to, keep him between Drea and the axe for now.
Sure. So you walk in, Mr. Gift turns, you can see the normally crisp, black jacket, a little sooty and still relatively clean. You can see probably use some kind of relatively mundane item to use prestidigitation to keep himself clean repeatedly over the course of cleaning things up. But this place is quite a mess. But he turns to you and he says, "Were you successful? Did you find what you needed?"
Mostly, and then I guess we probably got a to-go bag or something.
Santa. It's like a Santa sack.
Yeah, it's a canvas bag that just says Calassian's Golden Exchange.
Roll
on the
them
side.
all out on the table so that he can take a look at all of the things that we just got.
Okay, so just off on the table.
No, I said
it's a lot of stuff. It's
but
you basically.
I was
just
thinking
emptied
it
out
was
a
like
store.
one of those one of those rolls, and you roll it out, and there's all the cool things in it.
Okay, so a little snelling robe, all these different.
I take the robe out because
Okay, this is for me. No problem.
This is my personal stash.
He looks at all these things and he says, "Well, was there anything else that you needed?"
We need to ask Ogre for some health potions, things to heal.
Well, we do have 4 superior healing potions that you could take.
Okay. Where is Ogle 3?
He is further into the collective, somewhere in the region of the forges, making sure that there's nothing else lingering.
Okay. I guess we'll go talk to him, but at least the 4 is good, right? You should maybe keep... I'll talk to Ogle 3.
We'd be grateful for the 4 superior healing potions, thank you. I have no idea why Akka just suggested that you keep them.
Keep 1,
What I'll do is I will put them on the table and you can all figure this out.
Just in
And
case.
he opens up this big bag with a whole mishmash of different things. You can see sticking out of it several scroll cases. There's a little actually you can see Oakfeld's eyes kind of light up. You see wind chimes kind of stuck in there. You see a chainmail shirt, a shield. It's a big rucksack. But he just kind of tucks them he pulls these potions out. And one by one, these are large faceted jars. They're wrapped in some kind of silvery wire that kind of hold the jar aloft. And you could probably put them on your belt and then quickly snap them off. But these are potions of superior healing.
Cool.
Brenna's just gonna take one, put it into her bag, and
There
just
you
be
go.
like,
3 left on the table.
yeah.
In the
I'm
belt
just
thing.
going to also take one, knowing the track record thus far.
Yeah, sure. I feel like, Eleanor, you're entitled to whatever you want.
Yeah, I was
really-
gonna suggest like one person takes the satchel of, or the sash of them, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
You can do whatever you want. Mr. Gift sort of slides the bag across the floor, leans it against his leg, and he said, "There was a few other items that I know that you had requested some help with. And I'm not sure if any of these would be useful. I know you wouldn't be able to carry all of this in. But
I take out the bag of holding and so, we'll see.
there also really isn't a use in sending an excess of items that don't have a purpose. But you could take them if you wish. I'm sure there will be no issues with that.
Well, we can take a look. I'm gonna go talk to Ogle 3, get it over with, see if he can make us some more potions before we leave. And then I'm gonna go talk to Ogle 3.
Okay. You make your way back a little bit further. You can see Mr. Gift just kind of sighs. He closes the bag, just sort of leans it up against the table. Is anybody else doing anything as Akka disappears further into the collective?
Are there still healing potions sitting there?
I believe there's one left, yeah.
I didn't take one, so I think there are 2.
There's 2 left.
Yeah.
Is Shay with us now? I know.
Shay took Gunter to go get him sorted.
Okay. I will
going for
take
some
the other.
drinks.
I'll take one and hand it to Oakfeld, and then take the other one, intending to give it to Shay when we meet back out.
Once Akka leaves, Eleanor kind of finally just takes the hood down and has recomposed herself. And kind of looks over to Brenna, big Brenna, could you promise you one thing? Should I die horribly, and I probably will,
Oh, dear.
given how things have been going, could you make sure all of this stuff makes it back?
All what stuff?
It's a private conversation. she pulls Eleanor like off
Turns
into
and
the
he
corner.
looks at this like big roll of stuff that Akka just laid out on the table, and he goes, "Where did you all get this?"
No worry. No concern of yours, sir. And then Brenna, like, more quietly is going to be like, you have my word.
Thank you.
And if it will help, I will murder Akka for you.
If it comes to that.
Yeah, because as you know, my
From like
friend
over across the room with a very good perception check, especially as he is like quite interested now. He just goes, "I'm sorry, murder Akka."
Kidding.
I'm just gonna turn to Mr. Gift and was like, so basically, this is all on my tab, and we're trying to.
He like kind of roots through these things, and he goes, "Why? We have some of this here."
Because of Akka is why.
He never checks in, but we have some of these items, and I'd pulled more for all of you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mr.
You
Gift,
get backups.
thank you so much for all of your hard work and for collecting all of these things for us, which I'm sure we will be get great use out of. And then she strides down the hall after Akka.
Brenna's gonna just kind of stay behind and just kind of like roll the thing back up and be like, you know, I'm not really sure why I believed Akka when he said we needed to purchase all these things, but we maybe are gonna return some of them.
That doesn't seem like the best use of money. If you are going to a different plane, maybe rations or shelter or
We get the mansion.
You're
things
not
of that
there.
nature might be a little bit more helpful to you.
Well, yes, like I said, we're all a little bit fried. I have no idea why we listened to Akka. So, you know, you said you had some things you can offer us?
Well, I know not all of you are capable of flight, and so there may be one or more of you that would benefit from something of that nature. But he kind of opens up the rucksack and roots around in there, and he pulls out what looks at first almost like a pretty simple cloak. As he pulls it out, it is when you look up kind of at the moon, and it is the shade of yellow that is like really striking. It's like the Halloween moon, and you look up and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. that is the shade that you're seeing. And as it like turns and reflects, you can see it actually splits down the middle. And he says, these are wings of flying. These serve to expand into celestial-looking wings that can bear the user aloft. It can also look like a mundane cloak, whatever is more called for in the situation. But this might be helpful. I know that you were also looking for something that was resistant to necrotic damage. And so he pulls out this shirt that is chainmail. You see the links each seem to almost shift, and they reflect things differently. So when you move your hand across, instead of a straight reflection, it looks almost like the hand is moving in different directions. But he says, this is a chain shirt of resistance to necrotic damage. It does exactly what you imagine it would. It's more medium armor, so somebody who could use that, this may be useful for. And then... The other thing that I had, I believe you have somebody who is a Zinyi monk, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
She's been in once. This might be interesting to her. And he pulls out a, so it's like a very thick belt. And you can see it rises to almost like an oval shape in the front. And you can see almost immediately from the exterior of it, the scales that it is formed of are relatively new, and they are purple. You can see they shimmer with this almost like deep purple hue to them. And they are dragon scales.
cool.
And he says, these have been recently manufactured in Colteron. These are a dragon hide belt. And this is something that will provide a number of advantages for somebody of a Zinyi's skills. It will also provide some protection against psychic damage, which I know is an interest to all of you.
Ooh.
Hello, Dano.
Oh, sorry. Does it seem like he's going to go on? I don't want to cut him off.
No, that's what he's going to say.
I'm going to say, wow, Mr. Gift, you really live up to your name.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Brenna's going to, like I said, she's going to kind of like roll up the thing with all the stuff in it and just kind of like set it aside. And her plan, once Eleanor comes back, is to be like, Eleanor, you should decide what we are going to return right now. But she's not gonna go after Eleanor because that's where Akka is, and she kind of wants this to be on the down low.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Is Drea around still?
Yeah. Drea's taking part in the cleanup of this area.
Okay. Brenna then is gonna. I guess she'll kind of like skirt around the edge of the room.
Okay.
If like the axe is on her back, she's gonna try to like skirt around so that the back, and then as soon as she has an opportunity, we'll just kind of like scoot off after Eleanor.
Okay. And for what it's worth, it's almost like, and you've seen this a fair number of times from Drea, it's like she doesn't want to pay attention to you. So she's like actively not looking at you. She doesn't want to talk to anybody generally. And so she like pointedly ignores you, and so no problem.
Nice.
You just kind of make your way through it. Eleanor, you catch up without any trouble if you want to Akka. I mean, you're
pretty slow.
You're a lot faster.
I'll go through.
And
I just assume you like slowly float
Trudging.
everywhere.
Yeah.
this is like the
I'm
hallway
flying,
here.
but I'm trudging still somehow.
It's stone. It's about 15 feet wide, but in the middle sort of column of the space, there are pillars that rise up to support the ceiling, the Touffet Museum above. And you can see above you the thick planks of wood that make up the underfloor for like the museum above. But here in this kind of low ceilinged space, it is pretty warm. And as you approach, you can hear the sound of like a forge, and you can hear from within that room this little and this little like grunting sound. And then kind of like standing out there looking like he's just dreading walking in is Akka.
Just, Akka. Just gonna walk straight up to him. So, Mr. Gift has informed us that he actually pulled aside quite a few magical items already.
Oh, good.
For us. So, what we're... why, did we not start here? And so I was going, just out of curiosity, just sheer.
Well, I had asked Mr. Gift to get what he could for us, but I figured, he's got that covered, so we can go and get the other stuff. Plus, it was a little awkward when the dwarf became, and I figured, probably use some time with just Shay to.
So, Akka, I want you to listen to me really closely. Should I not make it?
Yeah.
I'm going to haunt your soul for the rest of eternity until every dime of that is paid back. Not by my family, preferably by yours. And if you don't make it, I'm selling your arm for the debt. I'm going to need an intimidation check.
Intimidation check.
A, not terrible, but not great. 15.
Well, the thing about that is...
At this point, Akka, you kind of look...
You have to do an opposed roll.
We're probably going to both die.
At this point, you actually so Eleanor takes you by the arm, spins you to talk to you, and you look over Eleanor's shoulder, and with the noise, Eleanor kind of hissing at you, you see suddenly from around the corner from the forge, Ogle3's face just pop out. You see the little scrunched up halfling features, covered in dirt. You can see the beady little brown eyes, and then he just does this little and then darts back in.
I love this guy.
So, if we make it out alive, I'm gonna pay you back, and we're gonna return everything, and it'll be fine. But it's better to have everything and then be able to return it than to not have everything and die because of it.
I'm just going to try to punch him in the kidney and then walk away.
Yeah, make an unarmed strike.
Terrible.
Block.
I am not a monk. It's a 14, which
Okay, I would say with
definitely
that,
does not.
you punch him right in the kidney, but with the armor, this thick plate mail armor, it just crunches your fingers. Your whole, you hold really, really stiff, and so your whole wrist kind of accordions, and you feel all the nerves stretch for a second. It overextends, and you have to pull back, and it hurts. But there is a satisfying clang, 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 clang in the space.
Yeah, I'm
You get another
going
snicker.
to turn and walk back.
Problem.
That was rude.
Has Brenna caught up by now?
I would say, yeah, you turn around right as you see clang, 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 and you see Eleanor wheel around, stalk away, and just holding the hand. You can see even in the darkness, beginning to glow.
Brenna's gonna kind of arrive next to Akka and just be like, dude, you have to be nicer to Eleanor.
I want us to survive. How is that not nice?
Cool, thanks for listening. And Brenna really wants to meet Ogle3, so she's gonna go on in there.
Ogle3.
So you walk around the corner and you can see...
I know you're in there.
You can see Drea's workshop. Ogle3 is standing right in the middle of it. He's not trying to hide. You can see the middle of this place is there's a center raised stone platform, and the forge is right in the middle, not kind of set against the wall like in most places, because in the exterior of this room there are all kinds of strange machinery, mechanisms. You can see the southern wall entirely taken up, spread apart, all these different mechanisms pulled out by rope. The multi-purpose tool that has been expanded across each individual tool and function stretched out at the moment. But Ogle3, the person that you see now in front of you, is this ugly little halfling. Looking at him, he looks like he was just dipped in the swamp and pulled right out, and everything kind of hardened in place. There is a cast across his skin that's vaguely green, and it makes you think almost of the algae that grows on sloths when they move really slowly across the land. And you do see, in fact, as he turns, there are little bits of mushrooms that grow across what looks like maybe an old wolf pelt that is adhering now, formed from the sort of musty dampness to his body. But he just turns around, and you can see in his hand he's holding this bunch of what look like I want to say nature's corn dog. What are those things? You find them around bodies of water. I couldn't remember the word, and I remember the meme about them being the forbidden corn dog. So that's all I could think of, and it got stuck in my head. Apologies for that.
Corn dog.
So you can see in his hand there was a bundle of cattails, and as he pulls them around, they kind of and they seem to almost, he's using them as like dowsing rods, it would seem. But he stops, kind of holding them above his head, and he goes, "What do you want?"
Do you?
Not you, stupid Aka. You.
Brenna's face is like in an enormous grin because she's just loving this, and she goes, Ogle 3, right? It is so good to meet you.
You can see the stick kind of droops, and he just goes, "Yeah, how'd you know?"
I told her.
Your reputation precedes you. We heard that you are really skilled at potion making.
You heard right.
Yeah,
What
so
kind of potion?
well, we're about to go on this big mission and we just need to stay alive. So like healing or anything that can protect us, it's gonna get pretty hairy in there. And again, I heard you were the best. So
Will Aka die?
maybe.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Natural 20. Yes! For a total of 21.
Of course I have you.
Are we about the same height?
He's a little shorter than you,
Okay.
mostly because of his posture.
Yeah.
He's hunched over, very golem-like as this creature. And as he kind of moves over, he puts down this bundle of cattails. They just kind of drop to the ground and kind of bounce.
Dogs.
And he kind of scampers over past you and then turns around and goes, "Come on!" And he just scampers down the hallway. You
I
just hear
scamper after him.
his little feet. It's like you and him, he's barefoot, and so they slap the ground as he goes. And it would almost be creepy if he wasn't so genuinely enthusiastic with that natural 20. But you just hear in the darkness this little and he's just running. But you make your way towards the very end chamber, which is Ogle 3's. You can see the door is shut, and there is all kinds of lichen and mold and this beautiful, almost hanging moss. It's called peacock moss, and it has red interior and grows more and more green as it gets towards the edges, and so it has this almost fiery look to it. But he just pulls the door open. The moss seems to almost slide up as he does, and he just runs inside. It smells terrible from within. It smells like a combination of low tide and loam and swamp. But you can absolutely enter if you want. He does beckon you from within. Come on!
I do wish to enter, yes.
Great. Aka, are you going?
Fuck no.
As you turn around, you observe all this happen. Are you going as well? Or are you continuing to return?
I see Brenna Ogle 3 go, and I'm taken aback because that was not what I was expecting Ogle 3 to be like. I knew halfling, but the rest is a surprise.
You've never seen a halfling like this before, and I would say for most people, they haven't met halflings from a place called Ilmarsh. It is the only settlement that exists within the gated marsh. Ilmarsh is home to the circle of druids known as the. Oh God, I think it's the Ilmarsh. I don't remember what they're called. It's a conclave of druids that is especially fungal based. And looking at him as you kind of see the door swing open, there are elements of fungus growing on the door and everything like that. Definitely matches up with that description, but you've never seen one like this. It's very weird. Okay. And I would say, even in this moment, as you are probably within 30 feet, in your head you hear this voice, "You can come too!"
All right. So at this point, still kind of seething, but now just a little bit confused. She's just gonna follow because it's very unusual.
Okay. So
she's thinking, felt a little bit, this little guy.
Yeah. As you enter the room, Brenna, you hear footsteps behind you, and Ogle 3 turns around and goes, "I invited your friend!" And then Eleanor walks in the door. You didn't hear him say anything. Yeah. But he is a ghost-wise halfling, and so he does communicate telepathically. Gotcha. But you enter into this room. It is just a simple bedchamber, maybe 25 feet deep. But the entirety of the space is just crammed. This is like a witch's cottage. There are little jars of different mushrooms and different flowers and dried, unfortunately, look like maybe animals off in one corner, all kinds of different things. His bed is a huge and elongated tree stump that looks like it was kind of sawed off, and then as it rotted, moss was laid in and attached, and now is sort of a soft, kind of fungally bed. And it smells like fungus in there. But he turns and he just says,
Sorry, it's kind of messy. I wasn't expecting company. What do you need?
Mess? What mess? Like really any potions you can spare, health potions, or things that can protect all of us but Akka. For like...
Do you want to poison Akka?
Oh, I think that would be just obvious.
Just a little.
I mean, if you have a poison, I'll like tuck it away, but no promises.
He pesters.
you see, he like totters over to this drawer, and it looks like where it's positioned to the room, this is where all of his clothes would be. But he opens it, and you just hear ching, 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 ching. It's like 30 different bottles, and like there's brackish liquid in there. As it turns, you see something like squirm in one of them. It's like all different kinds of things, but he goes through, and you just hear fire, poison, real poison. It's like this little vial, and he swirls this liquid inside, and you can see it's very green looking, very vibrant. It looks for all the world like something that somebody would make in a juicer with kale. It's just this like very healthy looking liquid. But he swirls it around and he says,
It won't kill Akka. Just make him really sick.
and he just hands it over to you.
No
Pulls it
promises,
back.
But only for Akka, not for nice people.
Okay.
He hands it to you.
Nobody nice will get this.
Excellent.
Tuck it away.
As Eleanor kind of looks around the room and she's just like, we have, you've not met him yet, Oakfeld. He might appreciate your sense of decor.
He looks at you, kind of looks you up and down, like very put together, like nice boots, very like fine clothing, though not especially ornate. But he looks at you and he goes,
I don't know if your friends would like me very much.
and he just goes like this, and he like brushes his clothes off, and just like bugs come out, like things crumble off. Very much Oakfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say, Oakfeld, if you want at this point, you can kind of like, from wherever you were, just like probably you caught somebody in the street and you were like, let me tell you about the Green Matron. But now you can come back into the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. You can make your way back here if you wish.
Yeah. At hearing my name, oh, did someone say my name?
You can see this like weird little halfling turns. He looks over at you, and you see his face kind of scrunches up a little bit. And he looks and he just goes,
You look familiar.
Oh, I get that a lot. I do not think your face is the one that is very familiar, but I sense an aura about you.
He just like slowly walks over to your hand. This is like a stray dog that is learning how to trust. He gets closer and you can even hear him. He's like, and he gets really close to you, and then he just licks your hand.
Oh. Since he already seems to already have like a plant, what would Oakfeld think this person represents as a plant for a flower?
In terms of like a flower?
Or just in general, like... I've done like weeds before. I mean, weeds are technically not flowers.
I would say...
Some weeds are.
So you look at this little sort of like tiny, short, broad-shouldered individual. There is an aroma to him that, for you, may be slightly inviting. This is definitely vegetal in nature. It is like kind of rotting, but not a bad kind. This is the kind of rot that life arises from. And in the duality of sort of elements of rot that you've experienced in your life, there is certainly the bad kind. You think about Azra and these sort of creatures of fungus and mold. But then, there are things that aid in decomposition that continue the forest living. Even on the Mountain of Endless Harvest, where things just were always in spring, you still required some element of breaking things down for life to come back. And so, like, looking at Ogle 3, it's not so much like a beautiful flower or a fungus, but the first thing that really comes to mind is maybe like a pitcher plant. This is an individual who more than meets the eye, and definitely there's an element to him that is dangerous, but not to you. This is an individual that has power in a similar way to you, that is derived from nature. More magic in its base, but definitely there is a kinship that you feel to him for sure.
Oh, yes. You represent the pitcher plant.
You taste like a tree.
Buddy, you have no idea.
And what do trees taste like?
Like friends.
He puts like a hand on your shin, basically, considering how tall he is. But he looks up at you and he goes, "Do you want a potion?"
Oh, yes, I do like the shiny glass and the way it shimmers in the light.
What? Do you want me to break some glass?
Oh,
Put it in a bottle?
well, that does sound quite lovely, but I would also like some potions, because I know they can help my friends.
Yeah, okay, what do you want?
Do you have anything that may help me be resistant to fire?
Yeah, I could do that. Well, and he goes, and you can see he like pulls open the top drawer, and he pulls out this big. It's like a ceramic tub, and as he pulls off the top, you can see like this gross-looking paste, and even in it, you see like this little like beetle leg twitch in it, and he just pulls that out and goes, "That's for flavor," and he throws it on the ground, and he goes,
This is for ice, but I can change it and it will probably work.
Oh.
Might burn you.
That doesn't sound good at all.
Well, only if it doesn't work.
You seem like a trustworthy friend.
Thanks.
You can see he goes and just spits in it, and he just kind of mushes it with his fingers. And in that moment, you do see this little of like some kind of an arcane force. It isn't just spit. There's more to it than that. Unlike some of the stuff that you do, there's actual magic components to this. But he kind of like mushes it around and he passes it over to you, kind of sealing the bottle.
I think there might be one more potion. Do you have a potion of enlargement?
No. But do you have Fey acorns?
Fake?
Acorns.
Oakfeld's just going to take out his bag of acorns and just pour it out on the table. Some ants are going to come out, some dead,
Yeah,
some alive.
of course. As you take this
Maybe a
out,
real coin.
roll a D100. Just seeing how these ants are doing. It could be a thriving. What if it's just like a thriving community? You
Like
pull
a
them
whole
out,
colony.
One's wearing like a suit, and it's like, "Hey guy, we're in the Industrial Revolution. 10 minutes for me is like 8 years. Come on, I gotta get back."
Like a very small, like,
rapture
Oakfell's
has
like
come.
figure falls out. These become their actual
99.
Oh,
So Oakfell reaches into his pocket and he like just drops acorns, ants, many of which are alive. They just like crawl all over the place. One of the acorns that you have is half rotted on the inside, and as it rolls across, you can see inside just tons of little eggs have been laid into the layers that have been left on the interior, and they've created like a whole little nursery. Yeah, there's like a little colony that has grown into you, and as you are essentially a tree, it is not that outside of the realm of like nature.
Fresh wine.
But you can see Ogle3 looks and he goes, "Oh, you do!" And he picks up the one acorn that is warm within this,
How does he
this
know?
thing.
Because he knows this shit.
Oakfeld
He
never
picks it up,
knows.
and he kind of just brushes across, and he just looks at it and he goes,
Wow, I wasn't really expecting that. I don't really know if this will work.
and he goes and he takes this potion, and just looking at it, it looks relatively mundane, like a pretty clear liquid.
What are you going to do to it?
I'm gonna mush it into this potion.
And what will that do?
It'll make you really small or really big.
But I was told to plant it in a very important place.
This job.
Well, I think you're important.
No one has ever said that.
You can see he turns and he looks at you, Brett, he looks at you, Eleanor, and he goes,
Aren't you his friend?
He spends a lot of time with Akka.
we've been trying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Spends too much time with Akka. Akka doesn't want to spend time.
he kind of like, for a second, you can see
Same as Ogle3.
his brows droop a little bit, and he turns to you and he goes,
Aka's stupid. Don't listen to him.
You must mean the Weeping Willow.
He cries a lot.
Don't cry.
I more think that
Down the hall.
the weeping represents
I'm not crying.
us standing against the storm.
I think the weeping represents being a little elf baby.
We all draw different orbs.
Son of
This is like the
Eleanor
most
is
fun
also
Brenna
trying
has
not to
had
laugh
in
at this
weeks.
impression.
Yeah.
But anyways, just don't listen to Akka. You're important. And so if you eat this, that's putting it somewhere important.
But I was given a quest by the Green Matron herself to plant this.
It's
and
your
it
choice, bud. Yeah.
No one
has
forces you to do
nothing to
anything.
do with this, and yet he's still getting shit on.
Yeah, we're having a great
Fucking
time.
Ogle 3. Bastards.
Is there any way
From down the
you
hall.
could just give me the reagents, and if I choose to use it, I could possibly make the potion myself?
Make a persuasion check. And make it an advantage. As the two of you follow, or you walk a very similar path.
It's gonna have to be a real good reason for Oakfeld to give up this quest. Maybe it's a 12 plus 4, 16.
I can do that, but Oakfeld,
Yes.
if you're supposed to put this somewhere important, Melora gives gifts, and you choose how to use them, like she said. So you could do this if you want. It's up to you.
I will think on it.
Okay.
And I will reach out my hand to take the potion reagents. I
Yeah,
guess.
so you can just you can add one potion reagent, and then when you add that acorn, it's up to you. It will become, if you do add it, it will have a 50-50 shot at being a potion of enlarge or a potion of reduce.
Now, question.
Yes.
If I am
Already big,
already big
you
and then
become
already
normal,
bigger big.
then you will become really big. It is one size class larger.
That's like
That's when we go upstairs and we get the tree from the. We just plant it on the table. Yeah,
That is tempting. I do like making messes in this game.
yeah.
the world tree.
Thank you very much. I very enjoy your
Plant him on
aura.
Calypso's.
And you can see he just kind of like leans his head in and you touch his head. There is this element to him
Live.
as you do touch him. First of all, unlike a lot of your other companions, he is teeming with life. Every inch of this individual swarming with microorganisms, bacteria, insects, actual plant matter clings to him in lots of places. Within the hair, you sense that there are like entire colonies of flora and fauna, probably undocumented by current modern science, certainly.
As I touch his head, I imagine some of his like microorganisms and like ecosystem absorbs into me.
Yeah, there's a little exchange.
Yeah, there's a little exchange. He gets a little dead ants. I get a little bit of fungus.
It's called Melora's handshake.
I think Oakfeld, he was a virgin before. He's not anymore.
Like 32 states.
Brenna's gonna look at Ogle 3 and be like, wow, you really are not disappointing at all. You're living up to your reputation, which is something she just said to Mr. Giff, I just realized. Are there any other potions that you'd like to give us? We'll put them to good use.
I have a lot of different things, but I don't really know what a lot of them do. I have vague ideas, but I like to experiment with different things. I go into the marsh. All kinds of things grow out there. So, I have
Do you
this
have
one.
any that you're like pretty sure about?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure about all of them.
More than pretty sure?
No. I give those to Mr. Giff.
That's fair.
Actually, do you have anything that would be good against either the undead or something we could throw at our enemies? One or the other. Or both.
Second.
I helped Mr. Giff look for items a little bit earlier, and he found something called Bound Counter, which is probably pretty good against items, but it's a mace. For potions, I have a potion that will definitely blow up, but I don't know how big.
You know what? We'll take it, and then we'll report back.
Okay. I might need some help.
And he kind of walks over, and around the side of this, he pulls out, it's like a pony keg, and he like has to roll it around using his like full torso to torque it. And you can just see he just goes,
This one's kind of a lot of, I mean, it took a lot of stuff to get it, and I kept having to add more because there was too much and then too little, and anyways.
and he like swirls it over. It's basically the same size as him. He stops. He's like a little dizzy, and he just goes,
Wow, okay, this would probably blow up.
I do not doubt that. That is incredibly impressive. I'm just gonna like looks over at Brenna. It's like,
it's like a good 30 pounds.
yeah. It's like, do you think we could transfer this?
We could do a what?
Like transfer this anywhere?
I mean, it's too big probably to fit in the mouth of the bag
you
of holding.
you can't break. It's more than just a container. There's a little thing in there that breaks and then it releases on the inside. So it's not just, you can't spread it out.
This is fucking chemical warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ogle 3 gets down with some weird stuff.
That's why he's an asshole.
What's what?
I like it.
And
I was
because
gonna say,
he's
so far, really,
and
you're the
because
only
he
person who thinks so.
Pesters.
So, while this is brilliant, I don't think we'll be able to physically carry it with us.
But thank you.
But thank you. This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Offer. We're going to Calypsos. Should we make it back alive? Is there anything there that you would be interested in us bringing back?
Where's that?
It's a plane of fire and
Sand?
sand. Sand.
Pretty sure there's sand there.
He looks around at all of his like plants and funguses and like patches of dirt, and he goes,
I don't really do sand, but thanks.
All right.
Well, thanks, Ogle 3.
Yeah.
Can we come back and visit sometime?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Without Akka.
Never properly introduced myself. So sorry. I'm Eleanor. This is Oakfield.
I'm Ogle 3.
Nice.
But you guys don't know that for some reason, so
Your reputation precedes you.
that's what she said.
There's really only so many things that a person can say about you.
Yeah.
Bud? Yeah.
Asshole.
All right, Brenna's gonna just kind of like wave and head back out to the main area.
yeah, sure.
Oakland is gonna kneel and give like a may Malor bless you blessing to him.
Yeah, he kind of returns the gesture, and there is this like somber moment, and you feel like in this brief exchange, even in this like dank basement place, there is this warm breeze, like you were doing the right thing.
Yes.
But you can turn around, you leave. Eleanor, you leave as well. And the rest of you turn up to a very stormy Akka, who is in this sort of antechamber of the Dungannon Antiquities Collective.
Oakfeld. Well, Oakfeld was here, but Dan wasn't. You got a potion of superior healing.
Ooh.
Hey, Akka.
Did you get anything good from Ogle 3?
Yeah, we got some super cool stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Okay.
I've presumably just been helping clean up
Sure, yeah, no worries.
Drea and Mr. Gift. So, what day is it? Day 2?
It's Wednesday.
How many days do we have until we're leaving?
Well, I think
Entirely up to you.
I think we can leave when we're ready, right? Yeah.
The plan.
I know you had a really you have a great
okay.
plan just in case there's like 5 days
have-
worth of stuff that we need
2
to
weeks
do.
in total.
We have everything
We
that
had
we
2
need,
weeks, yeah.
right? We've gotten, well, everything that we can reasonably get before we have to leave.
And some things that were not reasonable, but we got them anyway.
Yeah.
Having 2 of something isn't a bad idea. I don't understand what the big deal is. If we die, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Sorry I said anything.
So you can see
Twitchy.
Mr. Gift like
Jeez.
holds up this robe, and he goes, "So do you need 2 robes of snowfall?" Or
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna be a gift for you, but I guess I'll take it.
he kind of hands it over, and he says, "They're pretty common in Everest, so
Well, it looks nice.
it's a glamour weave."
Well, I'll leave it here so that if we don't die, we'll bring it back.
We just bring it back now.
Because this isn't going to help us against the numerous enemies that are probably going to kill us. However, most of the other stuff, having two of them could help.
Oakfeld, in this moment as you walk by, you kind of idly, you're just, nodding, being like, yeah, I'm doing a pretty good job. You look over, you see this rucksack, and hanging out of it, there are beautiful, although metallic wind chimes. You can see these are cylinders of metal. They have these little notches carved out, although looking at the notches, you can see there's a little bit more to them than at first seems to meet the eye. The thickness of the edge, kind of in the notch that's been cut, you can see there are tiny little arcane runes that have been etched into that tiny little edge.
What are these?
And you kind of take them, as you touch them, they kind of ding, 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 ding. And he goes, oh, don't play those. These are chimes of opening. There aren't very many charges left in them, and so we don't want to accidentally use them. But if you did find yourselves in a place that you could not get into, these may be helpful.
But why are they made of metal?
Well, I believe the person who manufactured them had metal to work with, and presumably that's...
Metal is a tool for hurting.
Well, it sort of hurts a door, when you think about it.
I do not wish to hurt the doors, only to open them.
He looks at you, he looks at
There was a wall. Oakfeld doesn't care about walls.
he looks around at each person, kind of being like, I don't know what to do with this. And then he just goes, well, then you don't need to use it, of course.
It's just...
Brenna's just gonna kind of reach out and be like, so it's okay, bud.
It's just that when I make wind chimes, they're made of wood, and I've never seen something so
Mundane.
magical made out of metal.
Oh, we have many things magical made out of metal.
Have you seen a spoon?
I used to believe that metal was only for hurting.
No, you can use metal for many things.
Like eating soup!
We do have a bowl that makes things warm.
All these times I was making an assumption. I believed the music from my wooden chimes would be the only music I would ever want to hear.
You flew on a magical ship.
Also surrounded by people who regularly wear jewelry. Like,
Yeah, but you also guys use weapons and like metal, and Oakfeld's like, I don't know.
that's fair, I guess.
Listen, this is the complexity of Oakville.
Can I take a look? So I know Mr. Gift said he was like, yeah, like I got a whole bunch of other things. Like, can I just take a look? Anything jumping out as being like actually useful?
Yeah, I mean, you can see there is a huge silvered mace. There is what looks like I mean, you guys have seen most of the useful things. There are two scrolls, and Mr. Gift would pull out both of them, kind of seeing you guys now all looking at this bag. For whatever reason, he was like, hey, you guys want to see this stuff? And you're like, no, we'll just peer at it out of the corner of our eyes later when we are done ignoring you. But no, you talk to him. But it's like everybody else is like, no, we're just going to go and talk to Ogle 3. And then you guys are like, I wonder what's in there. And he's like, would you like me to show you?
We're having a weird day.
Yeah.
Well, because Akko was like, I know whatever we've got. So I'm going to go deal with the Ogle 3 situation first.
We don't have a tremendous number of spells or spell scrolls available, but we do have one of Alter Self and one of Prismatic Spray, if that is interesting to any of you. And then that is most of what we have. We do have a few more minor magical items and things that might be helpful to you.
As they're talking, I'm kind of like just hovering my hand around the wind chimes.
Sure.
Does I look around? I'm like, anybody need a mace? Huh?
You pick up this mace. First of all, it's certainly magical, and as you hold it, it's very squared. In a lot of ways, it feels almost like a sledgehammer. However, the end of it, the place that you would impact somebody with, it looks like, as you kind of like turn it on, you put it down on its haft and turn it. It looks like there is a silver piece of Serental that is like stuck to the edge. And seeing you look at it, Mr. Gift says, yes, so bone counter. When you slay an undead creature with it, apparently a single piece of silver is returned to the user. You all mentioned things that had to do with the undead, so I pulled out what I could. Maybe not directly useful, but it exists.
It sure does.
Could help offset some of the costs of.
Aka's just going around bonking things.
You had to fight the circle of the. What was it? The circle? The silent circle, because they're all werewolves.
Yeah. Could come in handy. I'll tuck it into the bag of holding.
Sure.
Right. Well, I don't. Most of the stuff I don't think I can terribly use, but I'm pretty good. I really only wanted the potions. I can go like buy rations and stuff while the guys kind of sort this out. We'll be gone for like what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah. Right.
Well,
he mentioned rations. I was like, oh, right, we hadn't thought about that.
I assumed you would all need rations, so Akka hadn't mentioned it specifically, but he never does. We do have some available for you.
I have like a meta question.
Yeah.
So I have a feature of my background that allows me to find food and water for up to 5 people just while traveling.
Yep.
In game, do we think that's going to help us in Calypso?
Probably.
Okay, that's what I figured. Just checking.
Yeah. And so while in territory that you're familiar with, when you're in the Underdark, you could absolutely scrounge up some very unpleasant things to feed everybody.
Yeah.
However, in Calypso, it's a totally alien environment. Probably not.
Okay. Yeah, rations sounds like a good idea. And then she's gonna like pull Eleanor down so that Eleanor's like head is next to hers and be like, we can probably bring back that snow robe at least, right? Okay.
At this point, I'm going to place my hands on the wind chime, but in like a way that doesn't make them like produce any sound.
Okay.
And I'm going to take them off the string and take them off the wall.
Okay.
And I'm going to produce from my bag. I imagine I've made a backup wind chime.
Of course,
because I know we lost a ship, and I'm imagining that we'll just get a new ship.
I love Oakville's way of thinking. Oh yeah, we'll get this brand new one-of-a-kind magical ship. We'll just get a new one.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the wind chimes, that's important, so that's why he's making them. So he's going to replace that and put that there.
I believe this will teach you the ways of my music, and this will teach me the ways of yours.
You turn around, nobody's looking at you. You can see Mr. Gift is like moved on, is now trying to talk to Akka. Akka's just like, no, I did say the rations. And Mr. Gift is just like, well, we presume that you would all need them, and so we have them. And then you're just like holding up these wind chimes. Nobody's looking at you. However,
he's just going to put them in his pocket. He thinks people are talking and listening to him.
Sure, okay, yeah, no problem. You could add a chime of opening with 3 charges to your inventory. Let me just make sure that's correct. 2 uses, sorry.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. Did he say that he did have rations that he was going to give us?
Yes, he does, yeah.
Thank you.
Jerry, can I talk to you for a minute?
You can see Drea just puts down the thing that she's working on and she goes, what is it, Akka?
Can we maybe go to the forge to chat for a minute? Real quick.
She just drops like the rest of what she's holding and just walks off to the forge.
I'm gonna like follow behind her and then look back and be like to Brenna.
I'm going to be like, should I come? Am I stay here? Okay.
Call you.
Okay.
Gonna
It's not weird.
send me down.
Okay,
Down the
so
hall.
you reach the forge. Drea turns and she just goes, what? What is so important that you cannot say it in front of your friends?
How do you feel about Glacial Dune?
You can see instantly the face gets really hard to read. Drea's not somebody who's very guarded with her emotions.
Yeah.
But instantly there is something that changes. Make a not sense motive. Make a insight check, yes.
I'm impressed that you were able to pull Glacial Dunith right off the top of your dome there.
I have to like write it in my notes every week.
Yeah.
And it just says Glacial Dunith for spelling.
It's a natty 19.
Oh.
27.
27. Instantly, there is recognition in that look. There is a look of, at once, reverence, maybe a little bit of fear. There is suspicion. How do you know this name? You instantly kind of see this look.
She mentioned it.
This is almost like there is guilt. There is a ton of different emotions that roll across her face. But at once, she turns and she says, "What does that name mean to you, Aka?"
Just came across it in my recent travels and thought that it would maybe pique your interest given that he's a dragon.
So I must be interested.
Well, no,
because of the
but
dragon.
because no.
Accidental racism.
That's not what I mean. Because he was cursed and sealed within a weapon, and
That sounds like something you would know more about.
well, that's what I was about to say. So, how would you feel if that happened again?
Gracial Duneth was the Black Death. There are those in the Scald that would have elevated them to leadership. It did not happen, and I think for good.
Okay.
He's so confident heading into
Promise me you're not gonna get mad, right?
Uh-oh.
That's what Brenda said to you.
Aka,
Yeah.
I have had a difficult day.
I know.
The glub creature is worse than he was before. I did not think this was possible, but you have made it possible.
Well, it wasn't really my fault, but okay. You met Brenna, right? Nice.
Yes.
So, in Brenna's travels, she also learned about Gracial Duneth more intimately than I have, you might say.
Oh my god.
Gracial Duneth was lost a long time ago. There is no harm in knowing the name.
Yeah.
Aka, this is where you should end your inquiries. You have a bad track record
You know,
with things of this nature.
right. So this is where it's not me, again, not me.
Aka, this is worse than Zeistris. There is no separating this. There is only killing. And if we were to find this Gracial Duneth again, we must stop at nothing. This is the pledge. And in this moment, you remember
I know the pledge.
flashing back to Valchrysix, flashing back to, though you would not remember it, Gunter Ovark. Many Dragonborn had referenced this thing called the pledge.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your knowledge.
Is this really it? You waste my time for a history lesson?
It's just like so fucked now.
She walks, she gets closer to you, she kind of like stalks up, towering over you by a good like foot and change. She glares down at you, and you can hear as she, there is like sparks that emanate from her nostrils, and she just goes, "Stupid Aka." And she just flicks you between the eyebrows and then just walks past you.
Well, I guess that
Make a
was
perception check.
okay. With my magical special eyes.
No, this is not with eyes.
Oh, it's not? Okay, then it's 24.
You hear off down the hallway in the other direction. And then little feet run away from the door.
3. Okay. Aka's like, oh, fuck. This is bad. This is very bad. Probably gonna need to tell Brenna this is really bad. And not at all good, and not even the bad level of bad that Akka thought it was gonna be when he told Drea about...
At this point, for all of you, Ogle3 just comes running into the front room and just goes, Aka's in trouble.
I love this guy.
And I'm coming back because we're all in trouble. I look over at Brenna. I'm like, we need to talk.
Come on, and Brenna's gonna leave, go outside.
What time is it right now?
Well, this began at right around 11:30. Probably getting close to 1 o'clock. Okay. You guys have just been walking in and out of the same hallway.
Like in the afternoon, right?
Sorry?
In the afternoon.
Yes, in the afternoon.
Okay.
Preparing's not our strength, guys.
Maybe we should go get some lunch before we'll spend the afternoon planning, and then maybe we can get a head start on getting in to Calypso's.
There you go, head start.
Great.
Come on, let's go.
We'll be back later. Grabbing Brenna, going out as quickly as possible.
Okay.
What?
I have business in Duncannon. I will meet up with you guys later.
We're already gone.
Yeah, we're gone.
I grabbed Brenna.
Well,
and
Phil
we're,
still thinks
going out
everybody
the
heard
front
him.
door.
And I'm glad that we're communicating effectively. He just walks out the door.
We're just right outside.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, outside. What?
That is really, really, really bad.
What? Yeah, but we're past it.
No.
Brenna, in the back of your mind, you just hear,
It is almost lunchtime, Brenna.
So
Yeah, we're kind of
I
friends
talked
now.
to Drea. I didn't tell her that you are in possession of the axe that holds Gracial Duneth because you remember the pledge that I've mentioned a couple times?
Do not eat this elf, Brenna.
Chrysax had also mentioned. Do you remember him?
I mean, I don't
you
remember,
weren't
but
there.
is it?
No, you weren't
I don't think I
there,
was
but
there.
you
yeah.
feel the axe almost lean. It pulls your shoulder a little bit forward. It's almost trying to listen to Akka. You have not heard of the pledge necessarily. But at this point in the back of your mind, you can hear the voice of this dragon stuck in your axe that says,
Listen to Akka, Brenna.
and
Okay, I'm listening.
It's directly related to your friend there in a way that's not good for you specifically because it's pretty much a mark of death.
Oh, he's still stupid, Brenna.
If any, most dragonborns, it seems, at least the kind who follow the pledge.
What is the pledge exactly?
Long story short,
Yeah.
keeping that from being a thing ever again.
Brenna,
And also-
do not listen to him, Brenna. The pledge is designed to keep who should...
God, I messed that up. Let's just make sure I get this right.
Just let Matt keep talking.
The pledge is designed to break the, the secession of rulership in Gath. The pledge keeps us down, Brenna.
Are you sure that the pledge isn't a tool of oppression?
Probably for the dragon, but historically the dragons were the ones who were oppressing.
Brenna's gonna kind of telepathically raise an eyebrow at Gracial Duneth and be like,
You know, Gracial
Well?
Duneth, also known as the Black Death, can't be severed from you. And Dragonborns are gonna come after you because if that gets released again, Drea said it would be worse than everything that's currently happening.
Nonsense, Brenna. We will bring Gath back to its former glory, Brenna. The Scald can rise again, Brenna.
Is Brenna like... Does it look like Brenna is internally monologuing?
Brenna has a little bit more control over this now that it's been some time. And so I would say Brenna, unless it's something that Brenna is like incapable of hiding, it's kind of up to Brenna.
Okay.
I think it's like, for you, Akka, it's probably obvious that she's like listening to something, but she's not like, you know, acting anything out or anything.
Is he talking to you right now?
Yep, he's got some thoughts. Okay, well, so probably shouldn't let Drea see it then, right?
I mean,
I would like...
short term, no.
Yeah.
Because she will kill you.
I would like to
She
live.
will
Yeah.
almost certainly kill you. But again, this needs to get dealt with because that's very problematic.
Problematic. Yeah, like makeovers and the patriarchy and stuff. Okay, I mean, we'll have to think about it, right? We don't need to be rash.
You or we, as in you and me, or
Yeah.
He
you
is
and
so
the axe?
soft inside that suit, Brenna.
No, I totally meant you and
Should
me.
eat
Yeah.
him, Brenna.
No.
Inciting.
You can make an insight check.
What was my 22?
I would say with the 22, you're trying to understand more just like, is this axe telling Brenna to eat me?
Well, more like, was she actually referring to the two of us, or was she referring to her and the axe when she said we?
Yeah, hard to tell.
We don't have to do anything rash, right? And you just went on a
your
whole...
definition of rash?
You just went on a whole tear on how we have to have as many things as possible because we don't know what we're gonna
Right.
need.
Things that are gonna help us, like resistance to mind control.
Have you seen what I can do with this axe?
Yes, but I also know
I'm like
that
3 less good at hitting without it.
given my experiences and what Drea has told me about your current situation, it is not a good path to be heading down.
Well, what do you think I should do then?
I mean, we don't really have the time to try and go off and sever the tie between the two of you, but I don't know, can you keep it in check until we get through this?
I think I've been doing pretty good so far.
Brenna, are you going to take advice from someone who keeps dying, Brenna?
I'm gonna ignore that. Listen, I can totally keep it in check. We're buddies now. I got this.
We are buddies, or you and the axe are buddies?
Axe, we're buddies now. We're like a team.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Look, I'm not gonna let him eat you if that's what you're worried about.
I'm more worried about the Black Death, Glacial Duneth, the Dragonborn fear, returning to an already terrible situation with the goddess of rot on the verge of being released into the material plane.
Okay, so There's something like pricking in the back of Brenna's memory that Glacial Dunith does not like rot and disease.
No.
And so remembering that, she's going to be like, I actually think he's our ally against the goddess of rot.
At this, you can hear this kind of like bristling in the back of your mind, and you can just hear,
The rot is the only thing that brought the skull down, Brenna. She is responsible for what happened to my kind, for Shatterscale. I will help you, Brenna. All I ask is for my freedom.
Look, he straight up hates the Rot Queen. What's her name?
Yeah, but
I say it cooler than that.
remember Gray Lady? You probably remember her.
Yeah, I remember her.
She also doesn't like Zeistrese and said that she was gonna help, but like, she's not really good.
Okay, you've been burned before. I get that. Options. Waste a lot of time trying to figure out how to break the bond. Become murdered by Drea. Or keep on keeping on and figure it out later once we've dealt with the literal end of the world. If you've got any other options, I am open to it.
We could eat him, Brenna.
Other than eating.
Well, I think I'm seeing this as more of a problem than you are. I do agree that right now is not a very good time to deal with this situation because of all of the other things that are happening right now, but I'm gonna go try to read some books, see what I can find, because ideally, after we've dealt with this world-ending event, we can deal with that potential world-ending event
It's number 2 on the list.
without straight up killing you.
Yeah, I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm gonna go read some books.
Go read some books. And you know what? Maybe you should talk to Shay. Just talk to Shay about it.
About.
He doesn't like Shay.
It seems like he doesn't like most people.
No, he's pretty cool, actually. But, like, I think maybe, like, I don't know. I haven't really talked to her about it yet, but I feel like she might have some things that could help. So, like, maybe just talk to her, because I don't think he's going to let me.
I'm gonna go read some books. I'm gonna go talk to Shay. I'll start trying to find a way to sever the link between you and the thing that can't be severed.
Go read some books. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'll go pick up sandwiches.
Okay.
Okay, meet back.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah.
Brenna's gonna go off to the first sandwich shop she can find.
as you turn and Akka turns, Glacial Duneth in the back of your mind just goes,
We should sever his head from his body, Brenna. We could do it now, Brenna. Put me into his spine, Brenna. Let me taste the fluid in his neck, Brenna.
Yeah, he's really cool. He seems like a cool dude.
He's been keeping a lid on it recently, honestly, to his credit.
I like it.
Listen, if we want to hurt the Queen of Rot, whose name I cannot remember,
Sarah.
yeah,
Azra.
Azra, right.
Sarah was. Yeah.
Like way early in the campaign, yeah.
If you want to hurt Azra, kind of need Akka and his weird big brain.
I don't think that's true, but we can keep the brain with us, Brenna.
We're gonna leave it connected for now. But, you know, noted. Thanks for your input. Gonna go get sandwiches now for the group.
I want roast beef. Mayonnaise is disgusting, Brenna.
But no problem. You go and you get some sandwiches for the
Yeah,
group.
like a lot of sandwiches.
Extra meat.
Just the Arby's commercial now.
Extra meat.
More.
It's just this teenager who's like, are you sure? I can't even close frozen.
Get rid of that bread.
Yeah. Anyways, no problem. You go and get some sandwiches. Shay,
Yes.
you take Gunter out into the town and you kind of catch him up on the various things that have happened.
A little more detail this time.
I would say at this point, there's a point where you have to kind of stop and Gunter goes in to like grab actual clothes that fit him. And in this moment, I would say Aira has been very patiently waiting. Hylan very quickly loses her temper and just is like, I'm going to meet up with you guys later. Kind of like just exactly what you do, accelerates up and out of sight. But in this moment, I think Aira, give me 1 second. Let me pull up my Dungannon here. City haggling.
Gunter's like trying to stay hidden because he's not supposed to be in Dungannon.
We're just keeping to like the side streets. And
Yeah, for sure. Gunter's definitely like,
Aira is going to turn to you and she's going to say, Shay, once we are ready to leave, Hylan and I are going to go to Yorn.
Yes.
We do need to talk to Gamble. I'm sure that he is aware of some of our plan, at least since he's begun to be able to hear the whispers of fate, but he does not know everything. And he has borne my burden for too long.
The plan was, of course, to return tomorrow when Carranza was able to take us all.
And you intend to reassemble the staff.
Yes.
the staff of twisted fates.
You can see suddenly from like inside this like
Whiplash right there.
this big like tuft of clothing that's on a rack. Gunter just from between two shirts.
Yes, Gunter.
So you got the pieces, huh?
I did.
Oh, look at you.
Gunter,
Ah,
give us some space, please.
ah. Excuse me.
You can see that he just turns in place, and now it's just the back of his head, like the bald, liver-spotted head, just kind of gleaming in the sun.
I'm just gonna move the clothes back in front of him. And then switch to Cindy.
Sure, she switches as well.
Does Gunter still have tongues?
Shay, many months ago, I sent you off to search and build the staff. Others went, of course, but I sent you myself. I hope you know that though my blood does not beat in your veins, Shay, if your heart was to stop, mine would as well. I didn't send you away from our home and into danger idly. And I didn't send you or put you at risk to be a wielder or a collector. You are meant to wield the staff. I have fought for long enough. I'm almost into my 5th century. You can see she turns, and actually I would say with that, as you are starting a very high level monk, he's going to take an attack of opportunity on you.
Do I get to cast the tongues, though?
Yeah, go ahead, you can cast tongues,
Okay.
no problem. Is it a concentration spell?
I don't know, actually. Let me see.
Okay, and also does a 27 hit?
So, first answer, no. It is not concentration. Second answer, fucking yes.
So all of a sudden, you just, as you go,
Gunter's still fucking level 13.
yeah. You hear this, and actually, yeah. So one thing is, if you end up deciding that Gunter is the person you're going to use for the final arc, I have a plan for how we're going to catch up those levels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
so
a
it's-
training montage like Rocky. Just on a sled.
No, but it's violent. Oh, it's violent. However, you can see she turns, and as you like make this cough, in an instant, Aira turns and backhand fist straight into your face. That is going to be just 7 points of bludgeoning damage. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Stunning strike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god. Con save?
Yeah.
That's kind of Gunter's wheelhouse.
Yeah, Mystics have pretty high DCs.
17?
That's going to be a failure, buddy. Suddenly, there's this, and then it hits you in the nose. All of a sudden, your lungs just
Ow,
stop.
I know.
You can't breathe. Your heart, especially for you, your elderly, frail heart, it goes from this to just stop. And there's this brief moment of silence that you hear this high-pitched ringing in your ears. And then all of a sudden, 6 seconds later, beat again.
Like mother, like daughter.
And Shay's coming in with an open fist to the back of your head.
And that is just 4 points of bludgeoning damage on top of that, just right to the back of the head. You kind of take a knee in the middle of these garments. There's a number of people in the immediate vicinity that kind of like scatter for a second.
Just watch this old guy get beat up.
Yeah, well, they can't see. All they just hear is the clothes making noise because he's in like this little clothing pile. So they're watching nobody get beat up.
It's good to be back.
Their returns. You can understand this if you do get off tongues successfully.
Yes.
Because it's one action casting time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
I'm just gonna lay down for a minute.
Campbell is shoulder blimping
I'm
for
listening
long
though.
enough. It is my duty, my weight to hold to allow the paths to continue. And Shay, it's your job to start fighting. When your mother left you with us, we chose you, Shay. And again, as you've grown from a stubborn little girl into a powerful, if similarly hard-headed woman, you've chose us again and again as well. So, before you depart, I ask you once again, do you choose us?
I do.
Eightfold are the path, and though one may never walk them all in a single lifetime, anyone might look away from their own to see the greater picture. Shay, you have completed your trials and kept the winds level around the skies of our home. You have protected the folk of the north, know they your bravery or not, be they dwarves or be they dwarves in their holds or men in their beds. Many are free to pursue their own path because of the one that you have chosen to walk. She bows to you, and at this moment it is maybe 15 degrees deeper than what she normally does. The same amount that you have seen her bow to Master Gamble, to Master Crick, and occasionally even to Master Solana when he would permit that kind of thing. But she says, this fight is now yours, Master Shay.
Thank you.
You will wield the staff. Build it and let us end this.
I intend to.
She nods one more time to you, and then she turns and looks up, and you can see up like maybe 50 feet on one of the rooftops, Hyland is just kind of like standing there. She bows a similar amount. Definitely a previous conversation that was had. And then Arrow walks, Hyland walks, and Gunter is still there.
Master Shay. Ah, look
So
at
you are
you.
eavesdropping.
It's been a while.
The way that everything folds, it looks like Gunter is wearing a dress. It's just kind of like across him right now.
It's a good look for you.
I pull it off. So, a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff.
Yes.
What am I doing?
What do you wish to do?
Well, seems like you could use some help, but, I don't know.
I could. And I could use your help in reforging the staff.
I could probably get that done pretty quickly. You know,
This is a dangerous world for you now, having escaped from hell.
danger is my middle name.
This I recall.
Yeah.
And for what it is worth, Gunter, I am sorry for how everything played out.
Water under the bridge, Shay. You know, you don't get to be 287 years old without making a few enemies along the way. This has taught me something. You're like the daughter I never had. You know, I respect you, even though you hit me, and that's pretty rude.
I do it out of love, Gunter.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that there's a mutual understanding. Despite our differences, we work together pretty well.
And, you know, sometimes,
Did you lose your train of thought?
what? So, Calypsos.
Yes.
Wasn't there a thing about a star?
Aurelian star, yes.
That the same thing with the Calypsos? Or is that another thing?
That might be another thing.
Alright.
Perhaps
Well,
interconnected in a way that we just can't see.
the world is a mysterious place.
This suddenly you kind of smell something, and looking, at first you're like, oh man, did I have some eggs? But you look, and there is this gentleman who is coming by. You can see pushing along 3 or 4 pigs covered in mud, and this individual covered in mud as well. They're wearing brown coveralls, these big hands, and you can see he looks over at you and he just goes, you feel like you know some mysteries?
This is who I'm
I might have some answers for you, friend. Have you heard of the All Faith? And the pigs kind of like come up, and one of the pigs like bumps into you and starts chewing on your armor. And
Get those things away from me!
you guys go, oh, sorry about them. They're just
Big people.
I've been trying to. No, they're not people. They're pigs, but I try to treat them like people. That's Frederick. That's
I don't want to hear it.
you okay, Mister?
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to raise some funds to create some.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise some funds as well.
He holds out like a basket, and you can see there's like 4 copper pieces in it. And he just goes, no, that's sir. He turns to you and goes, can you have your grandfather get us back?
I can ask, but
Thank you for your kind donation,
It
sir.
wasn't a donation. That was supposed to be for our gathering.
it's
Oh, well, then here's a tip.
Just drop 1 coin back in the basket, and he just kind of shakes it in there and just goes, well, we're supposed to be helping everybody, I guess.
I'm everybody.
You can see he tucks the basket under his hand and just kind of walks sadly away. One of the pigs looks really sad too, but
Well, now I've got some food money. Since somebody lost all of my stuff,
I didn't lose it. You died, and your body was taken from us.
I was decapitated by Shade Warden.
Yes, I was there. I was standing over your body.
So you know that I have to go and kill this Shade Warden now. It's a matter of pride.
Yes. Can we add it to the to-do list?
Yes, but make sure you put it down because I'll probably forget.
I got it.
interestingly enough, Gunter probably knows about the Shade Warden, and even more interestingly than that,
Do I still have my little black book?
no. Presumably that's somewhere in Calypso.
Oh no!
Interestingly, Eleanor, you have this cloak that makes you look exactly like the Shade Warden. That'll be an interesting thing to explore later.
My thought is we're leaving in the morning to go to Yorn.
They on.
The Zinni have resettled there.
Alright.
From there, you can choose to stay with us, or you can go wherever you choose.
Well, here's my thought, because, you know,
Or you can depart tonight and just be done.
well, I'm a little, you know, given my situation, I'm getting a little old now, to be perfectly honest with you. Coming back from being dead and tortured in hell for what felt like a long time was
I think 11 days, canonically, were you in hell.
takes a bit of a toll on you when you're 287 years old.
Yes.
Well, think about it. Maybe there's something I can do to help that's a little less awful.
Think about it.
I want to help, Shay. I want you to know that because, you know, sometimes I feel like you thought maybe I wasn't trying to help. I was trying to help. It's just, you know,
Sometimes your definition of help is a little...
the road of good intentions is paved with bad actions.
Okay, Gunter.
Man, I miss Gunter. So you have this conversation with Gunter.
Shall we go find you an inn that you can stay in for the night?
Well, where are you staying? I'll just stay there.
Point up.
Yes, so.
I could probably get him.
You look up, and at the moment, as you were walking, Shay points just instinctively to the tallest structure that is in the area, and it looks like maybe like a bell tower. Probably at one point, maybe for like alerting people or warning people. Now, just like a super tall structure. There's no like stairs to get up there. There's like there's maintenance handholds, but like nothing to get up there.
So, this is good because Gunter might just die here. Because obviously he's going to try to climb
There
it.
you go. So
Carry you if you wish.
Now, you know, if we're being perfectly honest, I'm going to get real close because I can't show any vulnerability to anybody but Shay because we've bonded now.
yeah.
I'm a little worried about going to sleep since, you know, usually it would be with Morwen. You know,
Yes, it got a little
been a
weird
while.
After you died, she started sleeping with one of your posters.
oh, that makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do miss her. Well, I'm gonna sleep with you.
All right.
Are you making it up on your own, or?
I'll go up first, and if it looks like I'm gonna slip, just, you know, catch me.
Okay, Gunter.
But, you know, I've been around.
This is the toddler that's like, Mom, come watch me. I can do it myself. Watch me.
Start doing
I can do it myself, Mom.
It's been a while, so Gunter's doing his routine.
Sure. Extra pop.
Extra, yeah.
Crackles.
Like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, my lumbar.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Popped something in the wrong way. Oh my god, I might have. An 8.
An 8. As you like move your back and kind of pop, there's this, and you feel your whole spine kind of contract in this weird way, and you just fall over prone on your side, and you have herniated a disc in your lower back.
Shay!
How you doing there, Gunter?
Could you just... Something popped! Could you just pop it back? Just a
A
second.
couple other people now like gather around, and you can see there's like this old man. He's like,
I'm rolling onto my other side of the middle. Oh, I didn't know!
you can see he takes his cane, and this old man is like trying to roll Gunter over with it.
It's like a turtle when he falls in bed.
Yeah, and there are people who are like trying to help it. Every time people get a touch,
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
so like people recoil. There's like children who come to help, and then like they run away scared.
Like bend over, kind of squat
Roll back
down.
again. I'm rolling back again.
Yeah,
Try to do what I can for him.
yeah. Make a medicine check.
That's a little better. I'm back on the other side now.
Just hold still, Gunter.
Okay, that's all I can do.
22?
No problem. So you kind of lift up the shirt, you see this big bump like rising out of the back, and you can see the whole back like jagged and crooked, but that's normal.
Yeah.
There's a place that is a little abnormally jagged and crooked, and where you see that, you put your elbow against it, you put your hand right against the side of his hip, and you push down and roll the hip back, and at that moment,
Tell me when you're gonna.
and Gunther, it feels for a brief moment like somebody flash fries one of your vertebrae. But after that, and after your eyesight returns to normal, you kind of wipe the like crusty tears out of your eyes, and you feel okay. You kind of stand back up. Feels a little better.
Medicine.
All right. Nimble as a 157-year-old dwarf.
Yes.
Now it begins to climb.
It's the climb.
And as this 287-year-old dwarf begins the rest of his day climbing this like 5-story structure, because it is 8:50. This is where we're going to step away for a quick break. So it is 8:50. We'll be back at 9 o'clock. Thank you for sticking with us. This is, I don't know why I prepare for you guys going like forward in this story.
Especially when you fucking
Absolutely
bring
not,
Gunter back into the world.
Yeah.
I love that Ogle thing.
I feel like Akka at least has been convinced that it's like time to move, but
No, it's good.
yeah.
We'll be back in 10
To
minutes.
make
We'll
a
see you then.
character that was
And howdy, folks. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did, and welcome to our D&D campaign if you did not. So, we are picking back up. Give me 1 second here. After this great moment with Gunter kind of rediscovering himself in the world.
And then climbing a fucking building.
I would say, without too much trouble, and certainly with Shay's help, you can
like
make
a
your
really
way. It is like 5 p.m., so it's not
It's
super
like one
late.
of those free climbers in New York, just scaling a building, but it's 287 years old and frail.
At 5 p.m. in the middle of the spring, or kind of the beginning of the spring, it does get dark relatively early, and so it's not like super early.
Okay.
For the rest of you, are there things that you wish to do before finding a long rest, and then presumably leaving in the morning with Carranza?
I think the first thing Eleanor would want to do would be to see if Mr. Gift would be willing to brainstorm a way to somehow retrieve the ship.
Oh, he's gonna take it.
Well, it's just sitting on top. Eleanor's worried about the Silent Circle taking it.
Yeah. It is just.
So you're going to talk about to Mr. Gift?
Yeah.
We can retrieve that. Maybe. We're a little short-handed at the moment. I could maybe see if Ogletree could retrieve it for us.
Honestly, it's less about we don't need it right now. It's just more I'm worried where we left it. It's right by where. It's just in the middle of the mountain.
Where we had made a deal with the Circle of Silence
Outside of
to get through
Cold Jerome, I think.
Coal.
Stoneflow, the other one.
Yeah, we're
Right.
still.
Stoneflow, Cold Stoneflow.
Stoneflow.
Oh! I take out the. Well, I have. Did you take one of the guns?
I took the small one.
You successfully took the small, sawed off that we can get
Correct.
one. Okay. Take out the other one.
Sure, much larger.
And I'm gonna go. If Drea's not here, going to bring it to Drea.
Okay. So you bring it back into the forge area where Drea has begun to work on this multi-tool again. And she turns, she looks at you, and she goes, "What, Aga?"
I forgot our conversation earlier. I actually came in because I got you a gift.
She steps forwards. You can see initially she just wants to brush you off, but she sees what you're holding. And she steps forwards, and she goes, "What is this?"
It is a coal stone flow weapon that I found.
She takes it out of your hands and looks at it immediately, like the heft of it.
Actually purchased.
Kind of like, she looks at it and her expression changes. She puts it down on the table, and you can see, holding out a hand, she waves it over, and elements of the metal begin to kind of unfuse themselves and peel back. And she looks into it and goes,
I'm watching.
"This is interesting.
Yeah, it's
What does it eject?"
Was that the one that could do pretty much anything, or was
So it can fire.
the other one was the scatter one? But
Correct. This is a variable ammunition rifle, and this
Yes.
can use several different kinds of ammunition. It can't fire
not
anything.
yet seen.
No.
Yes. So I never actually got to see any of the munitions, but it is a multi-ammo type weapon. I think there's some at Calessians, actually. You could probably find some there if you wanted.
Calessian.
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
yeah. But, would go well with that.
She looks at this weapon and she takes it and moves it over.
Or you could, melt it down, make it into something else, but it's yours
Good
now.
job, Baka.
Thanks.
She puts it down on the table. I have work to do.
Great. Yeah, see ya.
You leave, and she turns around. But as you do, you can see instantly she does return to this, and she begins to peel back an element of the metal, and she does begin to look at it and take out elements, and you see the process of reverse engineering begin.
Nice.
But no problem.
Then I go back and I'm like to Brenna.
So she's not gonna kill me then? What exactly did you accomplish in there?
She's in a good mood.
Oh, okay. Great. You gonna go read books now?
Yes. And then I'm gonna talk to Shay because I'll talk to Shay in the morning because she's probably gonna be, sleeping out
Once
in the
Gunter is
tree
home,
or
I'm going
something.
to go check in, just make sure they're not
Okay. No
dying.
I'm going to look for either here or anywhere within walking distance in the city, that would have information about severing this link between Grace Shelduneth and Brenna.
So, having already spoken to people, having spoken a little bit to Drea about it, you've kind of talked to the people that you would imagine that you know anyways,
Right.
who have information like this. There are lore binders that you could talk to. There are people that Shay know that you could talk to. Edelweiss is an enchanter and probably somebody you could talk to. There's many people. But in walking distance from here, not so much.
Unless like Highland or Aera are just around like Shay, but
Yes.
I'm gonna wait till the morning for this.
Anybody else? Anything to do before the morning? Yes, okay.
I would like to seek out my friend, my first follower of the All Faith.
Okay. You spend some time going through the streets, and as the sun begins to set and the first stars appear on the horizon, there is a marketplace that you remember having gone to previously. And similar to your time there, although now with like these two pigs over near him, and certainly for sale are these pigs. You see like a little stall, and there's like a sign. You see this grubby fellow who looks a little sad, just kind of like poking at the pigs and looking around, and every now and then just kind of waving, and then people walk right by him, and he just looks a little disheartened.
Hello, my friend. I have returned.
He turns, he looks up at you, and he goes, "Oh, you are real." And he goes over and he looks and he goes, "I really was beginning to kind of give up hope because you showed up one day and you had all those beautiful words, and I kind of got the gist of them, but I've been doing a bad job. Nobody's listening to me. I was trying to raise funds," and he pulls out this basket with one copper piece in it, and he just goes, "But there was this old man, and he was real small and real mean, and he took most of it, so I got one copper," and he kind of hands it out to you.
I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to place it on the ground, and then I'm going to give him an acorn.
He takes it and he goes, what do I do with this?"
You will do much more with this than you will ever do with the metal.
Oh, right, because it's faithful and stuff.
Because it brings potential.
I don't understand.
With the metal,
I know, right?
all you can do is give something for another something. But with this, you can give something to all. Not just one for one, but one for many.
Make a persuasion check. Sorry about you coughing too. I have some.
Yeah, I've been coughing like crazy too. That is an 8 plus a 4. 12.
You hold out this acorn to him, and he looks at it and he goes, "So do I split it in half, or how do I give that to more than one person? Because just one acorn."
I'm gonna
This is why I needed you back here, because none of this makes any sense to me.
I'm gonna place the acorn in his hand,
Okay.
Do you feel it?
Yeah.
and then I'm going to take all the acorns and place all of them in his hands.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, they're spilling out of his hand. They're going everywhere. And he's like, "How did you do that?"
Do you feel one that is very special?
He's gonna perception check. Yeah.
Then you see as I do.
I don't think I do. I'm sorry. But what do I do with the special acorn?
I'm going to take all the acorns back and put them in my pouch besides one.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the one that's special or not, but it doesn't matter to Oakfeld.
Okay.
Because it's the message.
Sure.
What you do with it is you plant it. And it will provide shade for those one day. For those you would never know or meet.
What? What does this have to do with all the different faiths? I was trying to learn about the different gods on account of doing that, but they got all
That is
kinds
the
of weird
message of
names.
the all faith. That we are all doing this for each other. And that it is not about the petty squabbling of who is right or who is wrong. It is about providing for each other because in the basic sense, we all wish to provide shade for each other.
Hang on. He goes, oh, okay, it's kind of like when my pigs move over and let each other into the mud, even though they don't got to, just because it's hot out and they want to be cool.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's getting it.
okay, well, I'll plant this, but I think it's going to take a long time to grow.
It does not matter how long it takes, as long as your heart is pure and you continue on with your mission.
Oh, I'm glad you returned, fella, because I was starting to lose faith. But I'll do my best with this, I promise. He takes it, and you can see he looks around, and he just goes, oh, and he runs over to, like, a near patch of dirt. He digs, like, a little hole, and he very, like, you can see he kind of tosses the acorn in, but then he goes, oh, and he picks it up and then gently lays it down, and then covers the hole up and just puts it down.
Oakfeld's just like,
He turns around, he gives you, like, a big thumbs up. Make a perception check, Oakfeld.
Did you just invent Johnny Acorn?
that is a 1.
Okay. So you nod, feeling very accomplished in what you did. And Oakfeld, as you turn to like return back to your friends, you do not notice the pig walk over and dig the acorn up, crunch it down. But neither does this gentleman. So, for all intents and purposes, a very spiritual moment.
This guy's gonna become Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, if you guys ever make it to Dominion during campaign 2, there's gonna be so many trees. You guys be like, where the fuck are these all coming from? And they'll be on like a very predictable path too.
One straight line.
Yeah, exactly. That's the very end of them, Oakfell.
Just whistling his way across the world.
Probably hasn't even made it that far. It's been like 10 years, he's got like 40 feet.
Things keep eating him behind him.
Yeah. But no problem, you do that. For anybody else, anything you want to do before you go to sleep?
Brenna's gonna probably make a beeline for like her quarters or whatever, just because she doesn't want to risk bumping into Drea in the hallways.
Yeah, no problem. You find one of these rooms, and off in the wing, you are acutely aware of the fact that Drea's chambers, such as they are, pretty much right across the hall from
Nice.
the guest chambers. So you take some care to make sure, and you can hear like when everybody leaves, and after her interaction with Akka, she's like muttering to herself a little bit, and you hear like the sound of her working on whatever it is that she's working on. It's pretty easy to avoid her. That being said, I definitely think you would notice this axe seems to almost like orient itself as if to be seen. There are like moments where it kind of feels like that. But you make it back to your quarters.
I'm gonna ask the axe, like telepathically, not out loud. Do you like want Drea to see you or something? Picking up a vibe here.
You hear
You keep not feeding us, Brenna. And if she tries to take me from you, we will have fresh meat, Brenna.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. I know I haven't fed you in a while.
She is alone, Brenna.
We're not killing that very scary dragonborn. She seems nice.
Nice and alone, Brenna.
Okay, so, Brenna, is there like a window in the room that I'm in?
no, you're in
to
the basement.
outside?
Yeah, so you're kind of like underneath the museum.
All right. So Brenna's gonna be like, okay, we're not gonna kill her, but like, I can sneak out, maybe like kill an animal or something, tide you over. How's that? Until we meet our next enemy.
Fine, Brenna.
Okay, so
The elf would taste better, Brenna.
you mean Akka? Pretty sure he's a half elf.
He would taste better, Brenna.
We'll find something good. And Brenna is gonna like crack open the door and like peer out and see if anyone's in the hallway.
Okay. You hear the sound of tool work down the hallway. Drea definitely in her workshop, and you can scamper out. No problem.
All right, I'm gonna scamper out and like are there like woods outside of town, something like that?
It's a pretty long walk outside of town, but yeah, you certainly can. It's across bridges. You know, Dungannon is built across 3 great mesas,
Yeah.
and they're specifically designed to be far away from the mainland. You have to cross either the Stain Bridge or the Gemmed Bridge, which are the 2 that are closest to you.
So Brenna's like, okay, I'm just gonna start walking across whichever is the closest bridge.
Brenna, you are strong, Brenna. Why do you make things so hard for yourself?
Cause I'm trying to be good, you know.
What is good, Brenna?
I'm gonna show you. Good is not killing people that we just met just because maybe they want to separate us.
I can see in your mind, Brenna.
Yeah.
When you woke up, you killed the first creatures you saw, Brenna.
That's different.
You feel like satisfaction from the axe in the back of your mind. But you storm away. And no problem, it does take you like a good 2 hours to get out of and into town.
Yeah.
But you go off into the woods, and if you want, you can murder a woodland creature.
I was thinking maybe like a wolf or something, like, you know.
Make a survival check.
Okay.
Don't think I've ever heard a DM say that.
On her way out of the city, does
no.
Brenna see an old man climbing the side of
Though
the
if she's heading the most direct route out, no, it's like the other direction.
11.
You go into the woods, and after a little bit of time, there's a fair amount of traffic going in and out, and so the wildlife seems relatively scarce. And then, after a little bit of time, you hear this little, and you see in the clearing, like the clouds part and like the moonlight comes down. And this is the scene from Bambi, just a baby deer. You see like a couple of woodland creatures scampering around behind them. And there's like a tiny little pond. You see it like reach down and take a little drink. And you could just see,
We could still eat the elf, Brenna.
I don't want to kill the deer.
That or Akka, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Brenna's gonna take out a javelin and be like, kill you, little deer.
Yeah.
Akka.
you don't even need to roll. I believe it's an AC 10, so even with a natural 1, you're still hitting this creature. It's a defenseless little baby deer. It has 1 hit point. And so with 0 tries, you just take this javelin and gone. You erase this creature from this mortal plane.
Yeah.
And you just kind of hear,
This is such a small creature, Brenna.
I need like a 6-pack or something.
Brenna's gonna like chow down, but like very grumpy, like really mad at the axe for putting her in the position of the hunter that kills Bambi's mom.
yeah, sure. This is Bambi. This is Bambi's mom. This is, you just shortened the Disney motion picture to a short film. But, yeah. No problem. So you eat Bambi and you can return. Is there anything else anybody wants to do?
Well, so as I return, I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to hear another word about eating a person who has been nice to us, or you know, anything like that. And if you try to get me to eat Drea or Akka again while we're here, we're gonna go see Drea together, and it's not gonna end very well for either of us. So cool off.
I died a long time ago, Brenna. You are the one who can still die.
Okay. Listen, like I said, I'm trying to be good, I'm trying to be better, and I feel like we could, yeah, best. And And look, I really need your help in whatever is in front of us right now. And, you know, we're just gonna have to keep being a team.
Brenna, I can see into your mind, Brenna. You don't think that you will set me free, but you will. Brenna.
And that's all you hear.
Pretty ominous.
You return, and anything else anybody wants to do before the end of the night?
I think Eleanor's just gonna like go find a room and just kind of lay down and think very hard about the day.
As you think, your mind brings you back to your childhood, the beautiful estate that you live in. Not a mansion by any means, but certainly well above any of the places that you have been in recently. It is beyond just a really nice estate. It is a beautiful home. Your family lives there. Unlike what Akka seems to think, you do not bear any ill will towards your
He
family.
doesn't have a family as a reference point.
Yeah. In Akka's mind, everybody wants to kill their family. And so...
I didn't say kill their family. I just didn't get along with your family.
pretty sure you said that. You're like, you don't care about your family. They could die.
Not
We've
killing
moved into Peter
outright.
Pan all of a sudden.
Yeah. However, you think back and you can remember this estate. You remember the lands around it. You remember, like, your family, who, for all of this adventure, you haven't really interacted with or seen, and having lost Britta already, thinking about, you know, having them in some kind of peril, that'd be a pretty tough spot. And Calessian doesn't seem like a bad guy necessarily, but there was certainly something behind his gaze that made you think that there was more behind this play for him anyways, than just simply a transaction. But you think about that. Each of you can find rest one after the other without too much issue.
I would like to go seek out Shay after my 4 hours.
Okay.
Probably just like go out, fly up, and like look around, because Shay is always up in the sky when it's time to sleep.
It's also a lot easier to find Shay right now, because as you fly up, you hear every now and then just like these loud sounds that do up here above the general din of Dungannon, especially as it gets a little bit later. It really kind of rings out, and so not hard to find.
I'm picturing just Shay looking up, looking Gunter like halfway up.
Yeah, he's got 30 feet.
I'm gonna like go down to Shay. You okay up there?
He hasn't fallen yet.
How long has he been up there?
You see Gunter like turn around, the eyes look in two different directions, and he goes,
Don't rush me!
A while.
I just got here, Shay. When you're 287 years old, you try climbing this tower. You're gonna catch me?
Yep.
and just climbs.
So, talk to Drea. Talk to Brenna. Gracial Duneth.
Is that name supposed to mean anything to me?
Not you, but maybe your mom, aunt, and uncle, and all of them. Someone, maybe. Any of them. The Brenna situation with the axe. It's probably worse than we've been treating it, and we should probably deal with it.
More pressing than the goddess.
No. We've already worked it out with Brenna. She's got it in control. Probably it hates Azra as well. It's gonna help us, but after that, probably want to focus on that because Gracial Duneth, known as the Black Death, Dragonborn's pledge is basically to just keep that shit from coming back. Because it's bad news for everyone.
It sounds a lot better in Draconian, but
Noted. Thank you for the update, but Why is this important now?
Because I'm trying to find information so that I can start working out a way to sever the tie between Brenna and the axe without Brenna needing to die for that severance. Because Drea also told me that it was not possible to do. Also, the breaker. Again, it's the breaker. I know it's taxing to use, but
It's not just taxing, Aka. I already have to use it on all of Zystrese's things,
Yeah.
and it's going to break again.
yeah. After that, if we can't find another way, maybe that's the way to deal with the axe as well.
Perhaps. But again, Zystrese.
Right,
Azra.
right. Priorities. But just wanted to, let you know that that is also a situation that would be problematic after this first initial apocalyptic situation.
So in review, step 1.
So, day 5, having defeated Zystrese and Crick and Asara and the green, no.
The Green Mage. I'm just real mad at Oathful. We're taking the Green Mage down.
We're gonna go and kill the axe.
Great. Did you get everything that you needed to today?
Did I get everything? I got positive words of affirmation from Drea, so yes.
Wonderful. Did you get the grotesque?
It's still at the collective. But I'll go get it before we leave.
Because we can't kill Zystrese
Everyone else is still there, so
without
yeah.
destroying that.
Do we want to? So that's another thing, actually, since we're talking about all of this. Would it make more sense, being that we're here, to test break one of the?
There is no test break, Aka.
Well, break, but we're near a forge. We've got myself, Drea, and
Drea won't help.
we've got him. Maybe, we do that one now so that we don't have to do it in Calypsos or, all the way back at the Cold Forge. Oh.
Aka, as you think about the Cold Forge, the last time that you were there,
It's gonna be blowed up.
that was part of it. The other element of it was the Cold Forge at one point had been Kol Ariston.
Yeah.
It had been a dwarven citadel that had fallen. And at one point, it had come into the possession of a group of Duragar.
Yeah.
Recently, you had been in the Underdark and you had seen signs to a place called Darkholm, which you know is the traditional name of that place. And you remember the Grey Lady taking over that group of Duragar after the fall of the leadership from some strange group of adventurers.
No reason.
And so you would imagine the Cold Forge now sits squarely within the Grey Lady's realm.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Go 3!
Are you having a moment?
Just, remembering other terrible things that we are probably going to have to deal with. Grey Lady. Still going to be a problem. For me, at least. I don't seem to get along with her.
We have no issue. No quarrel.
You say that now, but you know.
If and in time it comes to that, we'll
Shay
deal with it. Aka.
toppled a regime.
From about 35 feet up in the air now, having traveled an additional 5 feet, you see Gunter turn around and go, "Hey, respect your elders, boy." And he just shakes his hand at you, almost falls and goes, "Whoa!" And then just catches himself. He turns over the other side and goes, "Shay, are you watching?"
Yes, Gunter.
And just kind of starts climbing again.
Wow. Someone.
He's a lot.
Yeah.
But having to deal with it for 2 years.
Imagine having to deal with it for 287 years. So we topple a regime.
Yes.
She's not good.
Not our enemy. At least not at this point.
She's kind of my enemy at this point.
Well, that was brought upon by yourself.
I mean,
I'm welcome to come and go.
I'm the one who gave up the memory to get us here, which also put Glub in the situation that brought this all to a head. Very bald, shiny head.
He was luxuriously blonde at one point in time, if you believe it.
I mean, at this point,
And
not the wildest thing I've heard
In
or
the last
seen.
couple months, it was very odd.
Okay, that is weird. But Darkholm sound familiar? We were just recently.
Yes.
Now that that's part of the Grey Lady's territory, we may need to go there because
Aka, it sounds like you're having a great deal of anxiety right now.
just trying to plan. Because, still
Perhaps
doesn't
let's
feel like we're very well
focus
prepared for what we're getting into.
Not dying in the first.
Okay. Well,
And then we can cross off the next world-ending crisis. How about we do that, huh?
okay. Yep. All right. Well, good talk. You good with that?
Yep.
All right.
I'm running out of patience, so he's probably just gonna get an express lift in a minute.
Okay. Well, then good luck with that, and I'll go get everyone else. Get the grotesque, and we can start going soon.
Depart in the morning when Karanda's set.
Right, Carranza. Yeah. So, see you in a couple hours.
See you in a couple hours.
Awkwardly flying away to go get something to eat.
Okay, you begin to fly away, and you can see Gunter's now 30 feet up in the air, kind of moving down.
Fly past him. Like, good luck getting to the top.
And you can just hear he's just going,
I'm not going to the top. It's too hard on this side. I'm going to the other side. Shay, I'm coming down. And he's just
I'll go and up and catch him and run up with him.
okay, yeah, no problem. Up to the top. Is there,
Don't help me.
is there anything else that you guys want to do before mercifully finding your long rest? Great. The days move forward. The stars rise up. It's almost as if, as the little sliver of moon kind of crosses the sky, you hear it just go, finally, as it sets into the horizon and the sun dawns on a new day.
Like 2 sessions. On
Jesus Christ. It is Thursday, the 12th of the melting. And one by one, you all find your way to wakefulness. And for what it is worth, Carranza did say that she was going to meet you at 9 a.m. right outside the Duncannon Antiquities Collective. And for anybody who does happen outside at that time, she is there very impatiently waiting. The high-collared red jacket, a new sort of darker black cloak that seems to almost have these little inlaid... you can see it's like panels of cloth, and it has this inlay designed to be a little bit heavier, almost like armor. But she comes out and she's just kind of like, all right, so are we all ready to go?
We're ready.
Sooner the better.
Got everything. I guess this is it.
Is Drea here? I'm like,
No, Andrea's not. She's not. Yeah, she's not. She tries not to attend to Aka's business very often.
great.
So all of you kind of gather up here. Where is Gunter? Is Gunter coming? Is he staying? What's his deal?
Shay would have brought him along unless he said he didn't want to go.
Yeah, I guess he'll go up to Yorn to help with the stuff there, because that seems reasonable. And then he's probably gonna fuck off somewhere.
Okay, so your whole group, along with Gunter, is there anybody else that you are inviting along or taking? Okay. Pig guy stays behind.
Come, my disciple.
Carranza calls all the youth in and just says, all right, come on in, touch the shoulders, come on. Everybody goes and touches the shoulders. She casts the spell and all of you feel this rapid lurch of movement. And almost instantly, you look up and the sky is much clearer. The air is a lot colder, and all of you find yourselves in the courtyard of Yorn. Now sort of teeming with activity. And you can see there are squalls and villagers here. There are just people who have arrived now from the north. You recognize clothing that comes from some of the smaller villages. You see some people from Smugglers Dug that you've actually probably recognized by face. There's a number of different people, and I would say even from across the way here, having not seen them for some time, but having made this pilgrimage, probably originally to Squall's End, you see the Cooper, Strict Tens, who a little worse for wear, a little bit more gray hair than he used to have, but he has made it to Yorn. There's many more people here, and you can see like gardens beginning to be laid down. There's framework for more structure being laid out here. There's a lot more activity here, but you all make your way there, no problem. Carranza steps back and goes, all right, that's me for another day. Presumably, I'm going to be bussing you guys around again, so, I'll see you again tomorrow, probably.
Thank you, Carranza.
Thanks, Carranza.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And she turns around and just walks off.
Too much.
I hope she heard it.
Zinni will likely have rations for us if we need more.
Well,
they may also have some items that may be of use.
Great.
Love items.
So I've got the grotesque.
Sure.
I had taken in. Presumably, I put it in the bag again.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
With the items.
I got these.
Are you just pulling it out to show them?
No.
Okay.
I'm pulling out the bag.
Okay. I was gonna say, you remember it like being pretty striking last time.
Terrible abominations in there.
Presumably, there's a forge up here somewhere that they're working out of.
You haven't seen it yet, but yeah, you would imagine there's probably one. You can see that there's evidence of metalwork having been done recently.
I will take the bag unless Aka wants to come with me.
I want to come with.
Okay.
Just in case something bad happens.
And I'm taking both of Matt's personalities.
So you and the Max.
All right,
Is there
here we
anybody else
go.
traveling along with this group?
I want to go because I want some time to ask Aka like what he learned from his books last night.
Sure. Oakville, what do you know?
I'd probably stick with Eleanor.
Okay. Eleanor, what are you doing?
Eleanor's why I was just like, well, we kind of did anything on the list. So she's just kind of like, see if there's anything we can do to be useful to the people here
Sure.
while we're just hanging out, taking their food.
Yeah,
Quests.
no problem. You look around and you can see, I mean, they're building a society here. They have recently moved their entire hometown, and so there are like buildings being put up. There are these fields being laid down. As you enter in and kind of like passively follow the group for a little bit and into the hallway, you can see this time in the morning, breakfast in the communal area is being served. There are people, like you can see, who are wearing things that are designed for field work. There are many people who are wearing like tools and things of that nature. There seems to be a large construction project somewhere. And so without any problem, yeah, you can find projects to keep yourself busy. Shay, where are you taking the rest of this group? The tour guide.
To go find a suitable forge.
Are Highland and Ara with us?
No. So they traveled back. You'd imagine they're probably back already, especially as they are two unencumbered monks.
Yeah.
And not that Aka would know this, but Shay would know. They can make use of the pillars that are located along the ground, unlike most people. They can literally like run across the sky. It's
so
very
cool. I
easy
love
for them
that.
to travel. So, yeah, they're probably back somewhere. But you make your way and begin to look for a forge. And I think without too much trouble, people would probably be like, oh, are you looking for something? They know who you are. And you get directed over to what is kind of like the working forge.
They probably sent out a memo, right?
You, as you pass the message board, you can see tacked up there,
Congratulations, Master Chef.
Headshot.
Surprise party.
melting birthdays. And you can see everybody's birthday for this
Upcoming
month.
events.
Yeah. Have you seen this dog?
Potential doom.
Anyways, you make your way and you find this forge. It has been not slapped together. Nothing is slapped together here, but this is definitely temporary. This is not going to be its final place. This has been put right at the foot of where the temple is being constructed for ease of transport. Material is stacked here. Things are built and then brought in. Things can be adjusted and repaired very quickly. And so, no problem. There is this forge. It is in a relatively public place for what it is worth. And similar, you would imagine kind of as you walk through, you see breakfast beginning to be served. You have maybe like an hour before people really start filling this hallway. Right now, there are just a few people like off in the distance who kind of like look over. Nobody who's bothering you at this time.
Will this do, Gunter?
Gonna inspect it.
Make a stone cutting check.
Ooh, haven't made one of these in some time. Oh, wait. Gotta get out the Gunter dice. They've been in here for so long. Alright, there it is. Thank you, Dicey Encounters. What the fuck was Stone coming with? Oh god, I gotta find it.
I believe it was wisdom.
I guess.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's been so long.
So like, there's this big zoom in at what is it called with the emotions, that movie, Inside Out. There's this moment where it's zooms in on Gunter, and it's all the emotions, but with the beards, and they're all wrinkly. And you can see it's just this dusty, empty workshop. The memories are all like cracked, empty globes, and then there's just the one like sad Gunter just like plods down the hallway and just goes. And like blows some dust off something.
The bulb is fucking dead.
Yeah.
That was an 18. And Akka, noticing Gunter struggling, is going to walk up
That is
and
like
be
a different kind of meta level.
Need some help there, Gramps? Flash of genius. Make it a 23.
And Gunter goes, now! He just kind of brushes his hands away and like stumbles in his old age. And as he falls, he sees the top of this, like very mundane kind of granite. But the bottom of this forge has been made with stone, this dark stone that looks very much like granite at first. It is a much harder stone. It is a calcite variant that on the Mohs scale is just below diamond. So this is incredibly hard. This is a very well-built forge. Will it work for destroying an ancient artifact of like eldritch like terror power? I mean, the cold forge is probably what you want to use, but you can certainly try. You can build a great sword here.
Could build a really nice sword in this thing.
Can you forge a staff?
Can I forge the staff?
You could forge a metal staff in here, sure.
I could forge a staff.
You can certainly try.
Wonderful. But nothing else.
I mean, I could do like a little shield or a hammer. I could do an axe. I could do a couple
That's
things.
very helpful, Gunter.
What do you want? I can build you a staff. That's what you said. You gotta build the staff. What
I knew a
else?
guy one time, made a stool for him.
I could get him to make a stool for us.
Akka, were there other places we could go other than the Cold Forge?
Yeah, there were. I don't remember them besides.
So,
The
Akka, you would
one
remember that
south.
elements that are left over from an event called the Elemental Deluge.
Yes, places where the elemental deluge have crossed planes.
Now, the ones that you would need to in some way intersect with the plane of fire. The ones that you know about are the Hellfire Corridor,
Hellfire
which
Corridor.
exists below Coal Stone Flow.
Below Coal Stone Flow.
And then you would know of, obviously, the Cold Forge.
Cold Forge, not a great place right now. Again, because of Grey Lady.
Make an insight check as you think about this.
In Duncannon.
That's Gunter's. It's a 22.
The Magic Forge store. No, so as you think about this,
Forge RX.
as you
parked
really
the
think
ship
about
right on
this,
top of
and
the
you
forge.
think Cole Arostar, the Cold Forge, this elemental opening, Cole Stoneflow, this elemental opening, Culture Ram, you know, and you had
That's
heard
Steam.
translated Culture Ram in Dwarvish is literally a translation to Citadel Doom. There is this weird kind of bad things just befall Culture Ram. In a lot of ways, it's like Detroit.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just had this like history. It's just had a history of just, you know, like just one after the other economic downfalls. There's been just like plagues. There have been all kinds of bad things that happen. People whisper that Culture Ram is a cursed place. And you begin to wonder, could there maybe be one of these points in Culture Ram as well?
Didn't we go through a whole patch of fire in Colteron?
And I would say Gunter would remember Dinman's Ward.
Yeah, we did. That's when I fell into that lock, right? It was pretty cramped in there.
And you'd remember that is the place where the forge key had been wedged into a housing. It had been overheating. It had been guarded by several automatons powered by some kind of arcane mixture of fire and steam.
Oh yeah, got my. That's where I got the golem.
Yes.
Ah, I wonder how that's doing.
Well, Aishelweiss has it now, so.
She doing good? You talked to her?
Yeah, the last time we spoke, she seems
That's
to be
good.
doing well.
That's good. You think she could make me some more armor since you lost mine?
You lost yours.
50-50. 25-25. Warren and Heinrich don't get out of that one. Anyway, anyway, all of those places that Joe just mentioned, Aka is saying to you.
Colteron might be the easiest.
Oh yeah, they love me there.
Yes, they do.
Unfortunately, yeah, they really do. Gunter is
The
a
place
hero
where
in
there's a
Culture Ram.
statue.
Yes.
Several.
Statue.
Yes.
There's at least one statue of every member of the Finger Gang licensed out to Spirit and Soul, one shop. But for the Dragon Slayer of Culture Ram, there are quite a few likenesses that have circulated, yes.
I'm pretty hot. Shit.
Does Brenna know that Gunter is considered a dragon slayer?
No. There are
She'd be
everybody
interested to learn that.
Yes, everybody in Culture Ram certainly knows that. I would say there's a lot of people who talk about the Finger Gang or like Gunter as these like mythical heroes. And I think some of you maybe even heard elements of that where like Morwen was like this brawlic like bugbear apparently is like the public perception. They haven't gotten everything correct necessarily. And so whether or not people would be able to identify and or believe that Gunter is a dragon slayer outside of those places, it would be tough. But in a very
Now that he's bald again.
in a small area, you're very famous.
Yeah. Well, I'm in. But yeah, you want me to make a staff? Gunter's gonna go over and start working on just like staff with the supplies that are just lying around.
Yeah, sure.
There. Just like
You
a
take,
normal.
there's like a whole
bucket
bunch of like
staff.
nails that have been like put there to be repurposed into something else, to be like smelted down and rebuilt. You take those, you begin to work the metal down into a billet.
Give me a bit of time. I got this for you. Get yourself a staff.
Starts heating the metal together. Are you giving him any of the actual components to this thing?
Not yet.
Just gonna practice one first.
Go ahead. Make a check using your blacksmithing tools.
All right, and I get the bonus, right?
Yeah, you're proficient in them.
Yeah.
Still somehow.
I think I also have advantage.
Gunter's backstory, he does have a very long career of smithing. And so, yeah, he has There is, because of how old he is, there are like legendary weapons made by Gunter himself and other members of his family that exist in the world. People have held them before in this campaign.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Matt asked about one of the swords that you guys touched when I described it as kind of lighter. The weapons crafted by the clan True Steel are known to be especially light. They're master craftsmen.
Yeah.
So what was that roll?
That's it's dexterity. What am I? Oh, strength, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
All right, that is gonna be a
It's tough math.
23.
23. With a 23, you craft a beautiful staff out of these like random nails. You find like a mop, you break it, you take the metal like part that holds it together off. You take some screws out, like different like elements of metal that you can find. All of it like a relatively similar kind of steel. You pound it down until like red hot. You make it this beautiful like brick of metal, and then you begin to shape it. You like slowly begin to roll it over the edge of the forge to give it a rounded shape versus like the square. And as Gunter is working, he's like sweating. The sweat's like dripping down. He's old. He's working at the forge. And you let him finish?
Yeah.
Okay. About 45 minutes go by. Gunter just like works hard. He has not built anything on a forge in a long time. And so at first, yeah, the hammer falls like true. You're like, yeah, this is easy. But like after 10 minutes, you're like, holy fuck, how did I ever do this? Your arm is like falling apart. But you endeavor. And over 45 minutes, you complete this 20-minute task.
Beautiful.
Major staff.
Thank you, Gunter.
All right.
We're going to Golteron.
All right.
No problem.
Where are we now?
Yorn.
Yawn.
You look around, all the buildings and the structures are monstrously tall. These are sized for a giant. And so, yeah, this is a towering structure.
He's been here before. He was here.
It looks a little, looks more done up, you know.
Yes, I told you this, and you moved here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did tell me that. You know.
Our home was destroyed, and
Yeah, I do. Now that you mention it, I do remember that.
great.
Sorry.
Let's keep going.
But hey, it looks like you bounced back.
Yes.
Ah,
Not because of me, but let's
well, you know, collective you.
collect the group and let's go.
Okay.
So, anything else that you guys want to do as Gunter crafts his staff of singular faith?
Brenna's gonna like grab Akka and be like, "So, what'd you learn?"
We should maybe talk to some people up here later after we do priority number 1.
Okay, right. Save the world, priority number
Yeah,
one.
didn't have any books that I hadn't already read that had anything about this particular situation. Talked to Shay though, and you know, have some thoughts. We talked about it,
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
so yeah, we talked. We're gonna deal, you know, like we said,
Yeah.
priority number 1.
More, I heard all of Akka's anxieties.
So like Brenna at this point.
Plan so we don't all die.
Brenna, at this point, hearing the dragon say, like, you think that you're not going to free me, but you are, was like a come to Jesus moment. She is all the way panicking now.
Yeah.
So she's going to say to Akka and Shay, okay, but like, Akka, I think maybe we're right. And like, maybe like we should deal with it like really fast, you know?
Like, before we go?
I don't know, man. I'm freaking out here.
Okay, well, don't start freaking out, because then I'm gonna start freaking out, and we gotta... Okay, day 5, Yorn. We're on day 3, oh my god.
Okay, I just don't want
only
to
been 3
accidentally
days.
end the world
That's what I
after we save the world. You know, like...
Okay,
I'm taking Gunter to Golteron.
okay.
Okay.
So
I will also take whatever needs to be destroyed with me. You all can come with me if you wish.
Okay,
or we
so-
can meet up later.
that was what we were talking about last night. Yes. Maybe it would behoove us all to go to Koltaram so that we may deal with
Things that need to be broken.
Calypsos.
Yeah.
before we deal with the axe.
Okay.
Before
Right.
we deal with
yeah.
the axe.
And you know what? The
Let
less
us
I know
go
about the plan, the better.
to
Bye.
Koltaram.
Make a
To
deception check,
Koltaram.
Brenna. And make it a disadvantage, as this is a creature that is living
He's
in your
literally in my brain. 11. Cool.
Brenna, this is not the first time someone has tried to free themselves. Try if you wish, Brenna. We're a team now.
Yeah. No, we're totally a team. Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks, bud.
we're a team.
Yeah. Wink.
Wonderful. Shall we grab the supplies we need and get going?
Yes, please.
Already walking out with like Gunter and tow.
And then I imagine from Gunter's perspective,
Inside check.
Insight! Oh, damn.
Gunter has a high insight too,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he does. That's a 28.
So yeah, Gunter definitely sees
Oh,
Akka
yeah,
like
that's
freak out for a moment, and like sees Akka's eyes go straight to the axe. You know, Gunter is just like dun, 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 dun. Definitely sees Akka afraid of the axe. There's something going on. Everybody's talking around it. Why are they doing it? I gotta steal that. Just like instantly, Gunter's like, I need that.
Oh!
Everybody else wants that. I want that.
Introducing the big bad of campaign 2. Gunter with the axe.
Brenna happened to look over.
How
at
close is Gunter standing to Mrena?
How close was Brenna standing to the forge?
I mean, I think I was closer to Gunter than Brenna was.
Yeah, it was probably like just standing back, like however far back Akka was.
If you happen to
how
look,
close was Akka standing to the forge?
I
had to be close
been
enough
like
to-
right in like behind Gunter's shoulder.
She would have been standing right next to him because she's been waiting to talk to him.
Shay's not letting Gunter out of arm's reach at this point.
No worries.
I think Gunter's probably just behind Akka. Like, if you noticed, if you looked at Gunter, he would have just been staring at the axe.
Make a wisdom saving throw, Gunter.
Thanks, I hate it.
Knowing Gunter, do I notice this?
We'll see.
That's a 14.
Okay. I would say, yeah, you definitely notice that. And also, at this moment, Gunter, in the back of your mind, you hear, interesting.
Grab her by the collar and drag her.
Because it is 10 o'clock. This is where we're going to end for the evening.
Twist.
Yeah, you guys kind of walked me right into that because that was not my plan. But
You know that Gunter is a kleptomaniac.
you're pulling all the pieces together and it's lovely. So thank you for hanging out with us for this session of Adventures in Alberon. One day we will progress forward.
We should that's really optimistic of you.
But
Gunter will steal the axe and abscond into the night.
eventually, if you guys accumulate enough items, you can just create a singularity and pull everything in with you. It'll be perfect. But until then, please stay safe. We're going to be back next week, but if you can't wait that long, on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be back for some Starfinder. I'll be there. Matt will be there. Dan will be there. We are joined by Olive, Kara, and Ari. That is going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. But until then, please stay safe. It is crazy out there. We'll see you next week.
Bye.